launches it to the end zone. Touchdown! Terrence Williams!
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
The 2011 winner of the Heisman Trophy is Robert Griffin III, RG3!
Welcome to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Langoliers, base hit to center, and the Baylor Bears win their first Big 12 tournament championship.
Their fat little girlfriends are telling them what they want to hear, which is how great you are.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Yep, just ready for OU.
You can't handle the truth.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. It is Friday, folks. The first Friday. Yes, that's right. The very first Friday since the Baylor men's basketball team won the NCAA championship. There has been no Friday in history until this Friday. Today, Friday, we can say, look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this right there. That's the Final Four t-shirt right there. You see that?
Read it and weep. If you don't root for Baylor, read it and freaking weep.
Come on. That
Two good Fridays in a row.
That's dope right there. I don't even care.
Is that sacrilegious to say? Two good Fridays?
That's good, but it's sacrilegious.
One is obviously better than the other Friday. Like this Friday is like probably less good than the previous one. But this is a good Friday still nonetheless.
Yeah, you know what? It's a good Friday because Baylor won the national championship this Friday. And Jesus has risen.
Yep.
That as well. That as well. 5 days later.
Yep.
I tell you, there's still a lot to break down from the championship game on Monday. Big weekend in Baylor sports coming up. I was at yesterday's Reading Rainbow segment. Got a lot of traction.
Yeah, dude.
The folks liked that. The folks liked the Reading Rainbow.
That haunted me after we left. I asked more people about that. They were like, no, I haven't seen Reading Rainbow. I was like, really? Is it older? Like, are we old?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think it's a Southeast thing.
Is it regional? Yeah.
It's a regional thing. Afterward, I going back and listening to it, Armstrong the entire time just, stop singing. That's the best part. Is Armstrong's just, why? And then there is a part in there where like all four of us just talk over each other at the same time. Yeah. And it's beautiful.
Like, if you didn't watch the stream, it's probably really hard to follow.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's probably just miserable.
100%.
But it was great stuff.
You have no idea what's going on. 254-339-1122 phone lines are open. But Mark Patterson,
yeah,
pew, 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 pew. Mark Patterson joins the show at 11:20 today. Patterson, the from KOT Intramural champion to national champion.
Yeah,
what a story!
What a jump! Who saw that coming?
He gets his own E60.
He better get. I'm really excited to have him on. He's going to be awesome. He's also a scholarship athlete at Baylor.
Scholarship athlete.
Scully Mark.
He's a Scully Mark, as they call it, as his friends say.
Yeah.
We constitute as his friends today.
I hope so.
Breaking things down in intramural basketball last night.
Talk to me.
Will we get copyrighted for that?
Probably not. Probably not. Like I know anything about copyright, unfortunately.
So last night we're sitting there, and it's a healthy like 15-11 lead, right?
Who y'all playing?
We're playing. So it's in our division. There are only two teams, meaning you have to win your division.
Rivalry.
You have to win your division, go to the playoffs, right?
Yep.
So we play them twice. We just play the same team twice.
I love it.
And it's another ATO team of guys that are like basically all our age. So it's just a bunch of guys that we know.
Okay.
Last night, two of their players show up to the slick and can't play because COVID restriction. You have to take COVID tests at Baylor.
Oh.
And if you don't, then you can't play intramurals. Dude. So two of them showed up and couldn't play because of COVID tests. They walked on the floor with three guys.
Did y'all play five or did y'all play with three?
No, we were going to play five no matter what. We were going to win. We were there to win by a lot.
I like that.
But they had to call in two other guys to be able to play 5-on-5 in intramurals yesterday. So let me paint the picture for you.
So they still got five?
They still got five.
Wow.
They got to call in two. Maybe it was three. It was bad. It was bad.
Interesting.
Get this. It's 15-11, right? Like, we're just kind of treading water. It's the second half.
Okay.
Low-scoring defensive battle.
Yep.
There's a fast break. I'm in the paint. I'm taking it. And then for somebody tips the ball out into the corner, right? And at that point, I'm just open. Nobody's going to guard me in the corner. You learned your lesson. Drain to three.
Hand down, man down.
Bingo. So now it's 18-11. We're getting some separation with some the defense is playing well. Then next possession, one of our guys spots up from the wing and just airballs it, whips it. Who's there with the offensive board and the putback jam?
Johnny on the spot.
Just good job. Yeah.
Toll.
Boom.
Down low.
Yeah.
Good if it goes. Bang.
Bang. Next possession, defensive possession, right? They come down the other way. Somebody tips the ball away. I think it was like a behind-the-back pass. Well, I read it, right?
Right.
Collect that
like
sucker.
Like a book, reading Rainbow.
Someone yells to me from across the court, take it. I go the full 75, baby. I'm talking stride and all. Power dribble, into the paint, lay it up and in, take the contact.
Just off the glass.
No foul call.
Really?
But I nailed it.
They called it, they just swallowed the whistle.
They swallowed the whistle.
They swallowed the whistle and let the boys play.
Which they don't usually do in intramurals.
Interesting.
They typically call a lot of fouls.
Interesting.
So,
It sounds like they weren't calling a ton of fouls, 15-11. You know, not a lot of shooting fouls are really being called.
I guess they weren't. They were just letting the boys play.
Yeah.
No easy buckets.
I like that though.
Right. If you're keeping stats though, which Statman and Waco is on the Impact Health Lab.
Yes.
If you're keeping stats, that's 7 straight points and a 22-11 lead. I remember after scoring that, I go coast to coast and nail it. I ran back and was like, that's it. That's game.
Dude,
that's game.
Your plus minus must have been through the roof.
Oh my gosh.
When they make how on DVDs they'd have bonus features, like bonus materials.
Yep.
When they make the Baylor national title movie, whatever it is, when they make the DVD, the bonus features needs to be Drake Toll goes for buckets against other ATO team.
I did go for buckets last night. 7 straight points, put them away. Final score last night, 30-17. ATO, insert our name there. We won.
I had them 12.
Oh,
yeah.
You really thought plus 12?
I didn't think they were gonna. I thought maybe like they would hang around because but then the COVID thing moved the line.
They
a lot.
did hit a half court shot.
I was like,
they did hit a half court shot in garbage time for fun.
I'm broke.
We got Statman and Waco on the Impact Health Labs caller line. Statman, please tell me you have better content than me reliving my last night glory in intramural basketball.
Good morning, Drake and JT. It was good to meet you at the Baylor bookstore yesterday afternoon, Drake, and we literally and figuratively saw eye to eye as we're both about the same height. But I want to say publicly, because I shared this with Drake privately, for a young man who's just 20 years old, you are very mature beyond your years, and I really believe that you have the potential for a great career should you choose sports journalism or particularly sports broadcasting, Drake.
Well, thank you, Statman. It was a pleasure meeting you yesterday. Like you said, eye to eye. I did not realize Statman is all of 6'8". He's got the big guns too. I was impressed with Statman's physique, and thank you so much for the kind words, Statman. It means a lot. Like I told you yesterday, I love what I do, and I hope that translates.
Thanks for embellishing my height. I'm really 6'5", so maybe I have an inch on you, Drake. But as far as the guns are concerned, really my exercise riding my bike around the Baylor campus and the neighborhood, I've got pretty solid muscles on my legs. I will admit to that fact.
Armstrong might have the best calves in all of Waco. So I would love to see a leg off, if that's a thing, between Armstrong and Statman.
And Statman from Waco.
I don't know where this...
Guys, I'm still basking in the green and gold glow of Baylor Bears basketball winning the national championship. I'm a Baylor alumnus from the 1980s, so I remember when Gene Iba was the head coach and their star players were Darryl Middleton and Michael Williams. Michael Williams had a decent NBA career, but this is when they were playing their last few years at the heart of Texas Coliseum, affectionately known as the Barn, 1 year before the Farrell Center opened. And this journey through Baylor basketball, and obviously since Scott Drew became head coach, the last 18 years, obviously a documentary and a movie definitely should and will be made. And friendly debate, I guess, regarding the basketball pavilion. Perhaps it should be a shared name, the Mulkey-Drew Court or the Drew-Mulkey Court. But in any case, both head coaches deserve statues. And it's just a great time to be a Baylor sports fan.
Oh, Statman, were you there in '88 when the Bears went to the NCAA tournament?
Yes. Well, actually, I had moved back to Waco after earning my undergraduate degree in history, but of course followed the team. And I chose to move back to Waco in the spring of 1998, so obviously following all Baylor sports closely in my 23 years back in Waco. Cost of living so much less here in Waco compared to Houston and other big cities like Dallas, Fort Worth, San Antonio, etc. But Baylor University to this day is near and dear to my heart, next to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And Baylor athletics is I'm passionate about so many Baylor sports, and it just feels good that since moving back to Waco, Baylor men's tennis won a national championship in 2004, the 3 national championships for Baylor women's basketball, and now a national championship for men's basketball. Who's to say Baylor football can't join the party and win a national championship in, say, within the next 5 years?
Not I. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying they can't.
It's in the cards. Statman, Bear Games question of the day. If you, in your prime, had the basketball skill set of one of those guys on the Baylor team this season, which one of those guys would it be? Whose skills do you want to take over?
Great question. I would go with Jared Butler. He's my favorite player on this Baylor men's basketball team. I'm the same height as Mark Vital, but I could never be built like a tank with his muscles and his just amazing ability to rebound and get some baskets. But I like the style of play of Jared Butler. I would wish I had even 25% of his ability.
Yeah. Statman, we could get you there. A little thing called HGH. We'll talk about it off the air. We could get you to the Mark Vital looking.
Probably. Illegally.
Whatever it takes, by any means.
Statman and Wigo got a couple Disney movies here. Let's see if you've seen these. Monsters, Inc. or Up?
I'll go with Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. Wow. Monsters, Inc.'s taking it away. Monsters, Inc.'s doing big things today. Lion King or Frozen?
Lion King.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah, it's a good pick. Good
call.
pick.
Good
hey,
call.
Statman, it was a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for calling the show today.
Have a great day, guys. Sickum Bears.
Statman. Dude, Lion King's a blue blood in this thing.
Greeting Blonde Brothers. I love the Greetings Blonde Brothers.
I didn't have the hard telling my name's not JT.
Did Incredibles...
I think he misspoke.
Did Incredibles...
He knows.
Either way, it's okay. Either way, it's fine, but I just felt bad.
Incredibles lost?
Dude, how about that?
That, see,
Monsters, Inc.
The whole contest at that point needs to be questioned.
It is April, after all. April Madness.
April's
It
mad.
brings May showers.
That's what they say. Hi, we got G-Dubs on the Impact Health Labs call line, but G-Dub, we got to get to Mark Patterson here in a second. So call us back a little bit later on in the show. That said, we got a little bit of time. Stephen from Virginia.
Hey.
Stephen, we got about 3 minutes right here. What you got for us?
I just want to say, first you get great fans, then you get great administrators, then you get great coaches, then you get great players, and you tell them one thing: Sickum Bears, baby, national champions. Get you a president that can hit threes and grab rebounds from the chair of the committee to reelect the president himself, or creep. I would like to let y'all know the polls closed today. I wouldn't vote against the man who's never lost a presidential election, but that's just me.
I wouldn't do it. Guy's 2-0. You kidding me? Bat 1,000.
today.
That was going to be my next Bear Games question, was what campaign advice would you give to Drake Toll?
Wow.
That was my next
That'd
one.
be good.
Maybe that's for Monday. But
If I lose or I win, we need it moving forward. Steven, you're right, though. Get you a president that can nail three. It was a corner three, too.
That's a freaking bucket.
Three.
Good if it goes. Bang!
Yeah.
Toll with the dagger. They're not coming back from that one. ATO.
Dagger.
Up by 100.
Dagger.
We're a basketball school. We might as well have a basketball president.
Dude, we're rioting. If they don't elect the right guy, we're rioting.
Well,
there will be a
we can
coup.
riot.
There will be a coup.
We can riot. We can do something like that.
Yeah. Riot? I hardly know it.
That's not how that joke goes. That's not how it goes. Steven, you've been playing some baseball here recently. How's that going?
Oh, my gosh. I took an 85-mile-an-hour fastball to the wrist the other day. And
Who's
the
throwing
pitch marker
85 in
that
your
just placed in the fruit.
Who is throwing 85 in your league?
Who's dealing 85?
We got to bump them up to JUCO.
We've got some guys who throw over 90 in my league, my friend. I got very lucky that I didn't have to face one of them the other night, and that I got the 85 instead.
Steven, we need you juicing it. We need them on the next bus to Bakerfield to play minor league AA ball.
Steven, where are you playing baseball?
The MLB?
Yeah. What are you in the minors?
We actually have a number of guys in my league who did play minor league baseball. Now, I played JUCO very briefly, but that's a completely different level than, like, the guy in my league who used to play for the AA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants, the Richmond Flying Squirrels. That guy's throwing 90 in the first inning. but by the 5th or 6th, he's throwing 97. So you just don't want to be around for that.
Yeah, Steven, we need to talk steroids after this.
That's 2 callers in a row. You can't.
I just want what's best for them.
Oh, my gosh. Steven, we got to roll into Mark Patterson here real quick. If you could have in your prime one Baylor basketball player's skill set, which one would it be?
Maceo Teague's mid-range, Maceo Teague's shooting ability. Maceo Teague is my favorite player of all time. Love Maceo Teague. I'm wearing the jersey today.
Yeah.
Drake, I already sent JD the link. You can ask him for it, but I can send it to you too. I was looking out for you fellas. Sickum Bears.
Sickum Bears. For jerseys. Found custom Baylor jerseys. Very
and
cool.
then, Steven, Monsters, Inc. or Up?
The Incredibles, but I guess I'll go with Monsters, Inc.
I love that movie. And Lion King or Frozen?
The Lion King.
Yeah. Boom, baby, lock it in. Nasa Venya. Yeah. Thanks for your call, Steven. Say it.
Later, guys.
Inject it in my
It's
veins.
a great Friday.
Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong, Sims, Andrew Robertson in studio today. Coming up after this break, Mark Patterson from walk-on to
world champ.
Bingo. That's what I was looking for. This is Up Tempo.
Finally Friday, and finally champions. The Baylor Bears, for the first time in school history, are champions of NCAA men's basketball.
Coach Drew and Baylor complete college basketball's greatest rebound and rebuild with a championship.
Lest we forget, it was Jared Butler who took home tournament MVP honors with a 22-point, 7-assist championship game. And Davion Mitchell, who earned first-team all-tournament with a dominant 16 assists in the Final Four alone. Elsewhere in basketball, Miami wing Earl Timberlake, one of the game's best transfers this spring, has committed to play for Penny Hardaway at Memphis next season. And Sharon Lewis, a former LSU associate athletic director, has filed a $50 million federal racketeering lawsuit after university officials allegedly retaliated against her for reporting racist and inappropriate sexual remarks made by then-coach Les Miles. In Baylor sports, multiple teams are in action this weekend with some major matchups going down in Waco. Starting in baseball, West Virginia comes to town for a 3-game series that starts tonight at 7:30 at Baylor Ballpark. The women's tennis team also in action tonight against Kansas State on the road, and the men's golf squad is in Bryant at the Aggie Invitational. The men's tennis team has a doubleheader tomorrow with Abilene Christian and Texas Tech. The soccer team plays at Oklahoma, and the acro and tumbling team looks for revenge against number 1 Oregon in Waco. And men's basketball is national champions. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs, even offering financing if that's needed. Everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrapped fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrapped fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Sit down, Bob. I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell for the Blonde Boys Power Hour.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. Happy Friday, everybody. Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong, Sims, and Andrew Robertson. It is the first Friday in which Baylor men's basketball national champions in history. Golly. Consider yourself made. It's a great Friday.
Made like a bed.
I want to say this, too. Prince Philip died today.
Yeah. Which doesn't make sense to me because he's married to the queen, right?
But he made it. He made it.
Yeah.
He got to see Baylor win a national championship.
That was one of his final words. He said, at least I got over the hump and saw Scott Drew and the guys win it.
For Prince Philip, life, he waited that long, and he said, I can die happy.
That's all he ever wanted, too.
God works in mysterious ways.
He was up for the head coaching job for a while for football.
Really?
Yeah, he was one of the 3 they were talking about. But
oh, my goodness. Well, how about this?
Talk to me.
Mark Patterson, right? KOT, which I'm an ATO, so we'll avoid that. Mark Patterson is playing intramural basketball, tearing it up, dropping 40 pieces. This guy is just wrecking the league, right?
Easy.
The thing you don't want to do is play Mark Patterson in intramural basketball.
Not me.
And then Mark's like, I don't know, I'm probably good enough to play with the real basketball team. And he was right. And now he's a national champion. He scored in the Final Four. What an unbelievable story. Making an E60. Mark Patterson joins the show. Thanks for coming on with us today.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad to be on.
Oh, dude, we're glad to have you. So Drake alluded to it a little bit. Tell us about the story, because I know it's pretty crazy between you graduated, you're going to join like the quote-unquote working real world to, hey, maybe I'll go try to play a little bit of basketball, win a national title. Walk us through that story.
Yeah, I'll start it. It's a little bit of a long story. I'll try to keep it quick. If y'all have any questions, feel free to stop me whenever. But essentially, I had tried to walk on my junior and senior years at Baylor, and just it didn't really work out. So this was a student here, and I graduated last spring. And about 2 or 3 weeks before the fall semester had started, I had a job. I'd worked the last 2 months. Coach Drew called me up and said there was a position on the team open up if I was wanting to join. And I said, yeah. So I just dropped what I did right then, signed up for grad school, found housing, and walked on to the team. So it was a long story, but it really happened pretty quickly whenever he offered me the spot. So.
Wow. Golly. Mark, I've got so many questions about your Baylor story and kind of how you got with the team and in the team. You talked about working your way through a couple years before, trying to walk on, and then the culmination of that by actually being on the team. Let's start with intramurals, though. Like, all that I've ever heard is that you're just an intramural legend. For those that may have never seen you play in the slick, walk us through your intramural game.
Yeah, I mean, that was something I was always really excited to do. Whenever I transferred to Baylor, an intramural championship was something I always was excited to do. And so, yeah, we had a strong team. I've got an identical twin that's just as good as I am. He'd probably say he's got the edge on me, but we'll say it how it is. But and then we had a couple other really good players on the team. So we had a good team, and we just it was a ton of fun. We played well together, and the first half of the championship game was pretty close, but I think we ended up pulling away by like 25. So
oh my gosh.
It was a ton of fun, and honestly, the environment in the championship game was somewhat similar to the national championship. People surrounding the court, it was wild. Let me just say.
Let's go. I feel like I missed out that I'm playing basketball.
I wish I was at that one.
I'm coming to your now.
We got to change the graphic. It's intramural championship.
You got 2 championships. Yeah. Mark, there was a time last year where there was like a 3-point competition, and you stepped foot on the ferrule, and Nate Hilgenkamp from Harris Creek is just chirping everybody for some reason. It was a weird thing for me to see. Anyway, all that's to say, was that kind of the spark for you to join the team and kind of to, hey, I could see myself doing this on the ferrule center floor for real, or how long was that flame there for you to join this team?
The flame was there right when I transferred to Baylor. Actually, I had played with King when I was a kid. And I had his phone number. So my first week at Baylor, I had sent him a text. And so it kind of started right off the bat. But in terms of the 3-point contest, that was the end of my senior year. I actually did not perform well at all. And I had some people comment when I made the team that hopefully I performed better on the court versus the last time I was on the 3-point competition.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Shade.
From rags to riches, from a crappy 3-point competition to winning a national championship. That's what the real story is. Mark, for you, the process of being on the teams, you said that you had gone after it a couple of years prior, and then you get that call from Coach Drew. What was that process, a little bit more in-depth, like for you, being on the team officially right there at the very beginning?
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround for sure. And just the way it turned out, I thank God almost every single day, just because there's no way I can take any credit for it. But it was just going from I worked from 8 to 6. So working from 8 to 6 to just quickly picking it up and trying to practice and work out with the best team in the country. So there was a little time of a transitioning period just to get back in shape. When Coach Drew called me, I told him I was in the best shape of my life, but I was coming off a shoulder injury and was so out of shape. So there was a transitioning period for sure. But no, it was a ton of fun. So
that is unbelievable. I love that story. Yeah, Coach, I'm ready to go. That's awesome, man. And you did more than just play for this team. Dude gets a bucket in the Final Four. What was that like?
I can't even tell you, man. I had text messages. Some guys sent me screenshots. Just going into the tournament, my mindset was if I could just get in the game, that's my childhood dream. And so to score in the first round game was surreal. My family was there. My dad was crying, I'm pretty sure. It was just emotional, man. And so it was a ton of fun. But once the first and second round games finished up, I figured there was no way I'd get any playing time. And then, there's Coach Drew setting me in the game with a minute left. And all I could think was, if I touch the ball, I'm putting it up. I don't care how much time is left. I'm putting up a shot. So
that's awesome.
Mark, a little bit more on that shot too. And I love that after round 2, it's you know what? Probably not gonna. And then there you are in the Final Four in the game and you score. In that moment, you talked about the first round was surreal. Then Final Four, Lucas Oil Stadium for the second time it goes in. The nation, the country's watching you. And then you get a steal in the national championship game. Those moments, all eyes on you, from intramural championship to national championship. has it sunk in yet? Are you able to fathom that at all?
No, I don't think I have. It was, I'm still getting texts, and it's just like, it's hard to believe that I'm, won a March Madness championship, but I also scored in it. So I really don't think it's sunk in yet. Those are memories I'll have for the rest of my life. There's some really cool pictures that were taken that, I'm going to get those framed. And so just for me and just my future kids, just to have those to look back on is so cool.
And I was juiced for multiple reasons in the national championship. But when you got that steal, you took off down the court, and I was like, oh, he's going to dunk this. I was like, he might bang out on Drew Timme right now. Was Coach Drew saying, hey, slow it down, we're good, we can just dribble it out? What was going on in that moment?
Well, you may not know this, but I ran the 100-meter dash in high school, and I think there was a flash of that once I got the ball. I was taking off, and I was the other thing on my mind was shooting the ball in the national championship. And all I could hear was Coach Drew in my ear screaming, hold it, don't shoot it. And looking back, it was great. I got to dribble out the national championship. That's super cool. But when I had the ball running towards I was wanting to shoot it so badly. So
wow,
that's so awesome.
Mark, that's kind of a question that I had for you. In situations like that, it's so tough, I know, for a lot of guys to balance between, hey, we're up by a lot, let's dribble this thing out and let's be sportsmanlike, and then the other thought of I'm going to pull up from 45 and nail one. What's going through your mind in those moments? How do you kind of have that reservation in times of, oh my gosh, we got to be good sports here?
Yeah, for one thing, the coaches and players talk about the culture of joy throughout the entire program, and so for one thing, I'm just grateful that the starters can get up so much to where I even get a chance. But all the guys the reserves who get in late at the game, we all look out for each other. We want each other to shoot and score. And so there's definitely we definitely want to don't just take ridiculous shots, but every time I got an open look, there wasn't a hesitation that I wanted to shoot the ball, but we also wanted to, I didn't want to shoot a bad shot and make the team look bad on TV. So there was a struggle there because I definitely wanted to shoot it every time I touched it, but wanted to share the basketball too. So
it was poetry in motion. I think I speak for everybody in the studio and say that was a poetic moment for us all to watch. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the scholarship. You are a scholarship athlete at Baylor University. What was it like finding out that you were going to be on scholarship with the program?
I just go back to I was initially told I may not travel. I don't know what the practices would look like how much I would play, and so just this whole year, I just constantly reminded myself to be grateful to be on the team. And so I don't know if you watched the video. I was just I just was shocked. I was I didn't even know what was going on, and so I didn't really even have any emotion because I was like, "There's no way this is actually happening." So it was surreal, and for just the team to be so happy for me was just really cool. And then after the fact, I called my dad, and then that's when the emotions started to come out a little bit, when it started to sink in that the team did, they offered me a scholarship, and so that that was something that I really wasn't expecting at all, but I'm just extremely grateful that the team thought it was necessary to offer me a scholarship. So,
jeez. Mark, you mentioned, and I know I brought it up a couple times now, you trying out for the team, trying to walk on with the team and not being successful the first couple go-arounds. I'm sure in that process you got to know some of the coaching staff, some of the players, and then when you get that call, you come on with the team, become a part of the team. How were you welcomed by that group of guys, the national championship core of guys? Did it feel like it was family right away?
Yeah, so for one thing, I got to give a shout out to Jake Lindsey, Kyle Combs, and Coach P. Those three guys were instrumental in getting me on the team, from inviting me to pickup games to working me out and then going to back me up. So, those guys were huge, but I'd say I got to know the players a lot during working out with the team, the whole tryout process. And so I felt like, for one thing, in the spring semester, I was working out with the team in this in my senior year. And so my junior years, when I came back the fall and they told me I didn't get the spot, they all like cared for me then. Like they all like came up to me and like apologized and told me like, God's got a plan. And so I'd say even from then, like there was a family culture. And so right when I got there this year, immediately I felt like I was a part of the family and I knew everybody and they all treated me like a player. They didn't treat me like a walk-on. So like this, like the culture is special here. And that's from the coaching staff to the weight room coaches and the trainers and the players on the team. So
Wow. Mark, last question I have for you, and it's a big one. You mentioned you have an identical twin, Matt. Who's better looking?
That's an easy question. I've gotten that answer my whole life, really. But the funny thing is that I've got an older brother who looks just like me too. And there are countless stories from this last week of fans going up to them and congratulating on scoring in the Final Four and winning a national championship. And they both countless times had to say, I'm not Mark Patterson. I just look just like him. So we all look the exact same, which is just crazy.
So it was Trey Mena in a vehicle. I had just gotten to Indianapolis on Sunday, Easter Sunday. Trey Mena pulls up in a vehicle in the passenger seat. In the driver's seat is, I can only assume, Matt Patterson.
Okay.
And I immediately I know that Mark Patterson has a twin. But still, for a second, I was like, he escaped the bubble.
Yeah, he's out.
He escaped the bubble. We got to call somebody. Like, this is not okay. He can't escape the bubble. And Mark, that's kind of where I want to end this thing too. Culture of joy, that family atmosphere. You guys spent 3 weeks together in the bubble prior to winning a national championship and being there on the nation's biggest stage. What was that like? All of that combined and put together, your 3-week experience in the NCAA tournament and winning it all. He's putting some thought into this one.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's putting some thought into this one. That's
enough. That's enough for me. That look was stoic.
Oh, my gosh. You think he's still kind of processing? He's just kind of.
I bet he is.
He's fighting back the tears.
I mean, how do you find words?
He looks just like his brother.
Yeah.
In this frame, I should say.
I think really? are our mics still on with him right here?
I have no idea. He's just completely frozen.
Wow. He's got Mark, we've obviously lost some connection here with Mark on the Zoom call.
I mean, there definitely was no words probably.
He is now gone.
Right.
Yeah.
That said,
He's the man.
I feel you could see him starting to tear up before he answered that. One can only believe.
He dropped the mic.
That Mark was going into something very emotional and deep there.
Yes.
you got a text from him?
Lost connection. That's okay.
Some tough connection that
That's
time.
okay.
But I'll tell you what, hopefully we can get him back. I want to get him back because we have Bear Games questions too.
Okay.
That said, though, I do want to go back to what he said about being a part of the team and the family and the guys that he shouted out when I didn't know that he had walked on his sophomore and junior year, both of those years, and not gotten a spot on the team and decided to come back in the end and ended up not just getting a spot on the team, but being a national champion with the team. And I think we got him back now with the connectivity issues. Mark, I know you said you lost connection. I think it's just an easy cop-out to take some time to really find a great stoic answer.
I would have done it.
Maybe that's what but hey, kind of that same where I was going with that, though. Being in the bubble, winning a title with this group of guys, the culture of joy, all of that put together, kind of how do you sum up what the last month or so has been like?
Yeah, it was special. I think, the coaches said that they really loved and hanging out with, the players more than like a team that they can remember. And I think the players feel the same way. I think in the NCAA and Baylor and the coaching staff did a great job of keeping us entertained. We had basketball hoops, we had cornhole, we had Connect Four. One of the days we played a kickball game, which if you ask anybody on the team, I was the best kickball player there. But just overall, it was just a great environment where we just had fun playing Connect Four. We did a karaoke night one night, and so we just enjoyed hanging out with each other and really just embraced just the environment of being with each other and just making the most of it.
Absolutely.
Mark, we got some Bear Games questions of the day. Before I get to those, I'm going to tailor my first one to you. This is great. I
love it.
just now realized what our Bear Games question of the day is and how it applies to Mark.
Yeah.
Mark, before we get to that, though, I want to know, I myself dropped a 7-piece in intramurals last night. A 7 in a row,
Extra
actually,
sauce.
which is what we in the business call efficiency. One of those is a corner 3. So what is your advice for those in the intramural game here at Baylor University?
My advice would just to be put up as many threes as you can. Just
shoot or shoot.
We're the best 3-point shooting team in the country, so I'm sure that bleeds down to the courts and the rec center. So
Absolutely.
just put those threes up. That's what I have to say.
I love that.
Mark, our real Bear Games question of the day, what we're asking callers and guests is that in their prime, if they could have the skill set of one current Baylor basketball player, who would it be? And we've heard Maceo, we've heard Jared. Your name's been thrown out 4 or 5 times so far. If you had to just resorb the skill set of one of your teammates, who are you stealing those from?
That's a great question. For one thing, if I could pick someone's height and athletic ability, that'd be John. So if I could combine John's physical build, and I'd have to say Jared's skills, I think that makes a pretty unstoppable guy. So that's what I'd say.
That's like a built Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
That's scary to think about.
LeBron James Sr.
And then our movie madness. In honor of you guys being in March Madness, we did Disney Movie Madness, where we broke down a bracket of Disney movies. Today we have two matchups: Monsters Inc. or Up.
That's a really tough question. As a kid, I always loved Monsters Inc. So I think I'd have to go with that. It's just an absolute classic.
It's a bop. It's my favorite Disney movie of all time. Lion King or Frozen?
Frozen 100%.
Wow. From downtown.
100%. My high school basketball team saw that together, and just we were dying that whole time. And so I think it's more of just the experience of watching it with them made that movie is incredible now.
Wow. So it's an experiential thing, not the movie
It's
itself.
the experiential thing.
That's
That
fair.
said, though, if Mark Patterson says
it.
Frozen, I'm going Frozen. I can't. I would follow Mark Patterson into a dark alley.
Mark, you've done a great job this whole interview, but you had one wrong answer, and it was that right there.
You just got to throw that, fire the interview into the sun now. Mark, thanks so much for joining us, man. I know JD, you can speak to it too. I mean, that's awesome.
No, it's so fun for all of us to be able to watch you and track your success. Congratulations, it's all so well deserved, and we're excited for you and see what the future holds.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Just like I said, this whole year has just been incredible. And so I'm just grateful for it and just want to, bring all the glory back to God because he deserves it all.
And hey, what's up? Everybody in KOT is now all of a sudden your best friend. What's up with that? Everybody's like, yeah, me and Mark are boys, bro. Yeah. Mark's my bro. Me and Mark don't even know. I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't remember you guys knowing Mark. I mean, you and I weren't close by any means, but we're definitely friends. But I mean, I'm not saying, hey, me and Mark from the sandbox.
Mark and I go back. We went to high school together.
I shouldn't say we're not close by any means. I would love to be close with you, Mark. But you catch my drift.
I am catching your drift. I wouldn't say I'm best friends with all the KOTs, but I'm friends with them, so I appreciated their support.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. I had to say that. I don't know if that's okay to say.
Mark, thanks again, man. It was really, really great having you on and getting your perspective.
All right, I appreciate that.
He's the man.
Wow, that was Mark Patterson of the Baylor basketball team, from walk-on to scholarship player to national champion. Holy cow! Think about
awesome.
it.
Is KOT going to hate us now?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
That was it.
All right.
They are all probably watching because, of course, they're big Mark Patterson supporters now.
Dude, yeah, I would be too.
The guy's going to the league.
Dude, I hope. Dude, he could play overseas.
He's got to
for
play
sure,
overseas
if he wanted to.
He's
Be for
gotta
sure
play
good.
overseas.
I think he's got a good job set up, from what I understand.
Really?
I thought, or I guess he had a job right before.
Right, I think so.
I bet that's probably still
we
there.
could have asked him. We probably should have. We
Mark.
should have him on again on Monday. Mark, you there? I'll tell you what, he did a great whale impression there at one point, just because it just the audio cuts. It's just
poor guy. Guy's been probably been bubble living for forever.
Oh, I know.
And now he's got to jump
He's probably
on Zoom with us.
learned Zoom. It's probably an art now. The Zoom. This from Marian Martinez Palomino. Mark is also a master accounting student. How hard was it to stay focused and keep up with all your studies with the excitement around you? So that was one of the first questions that we kind of asked him. He mentioned how he just stopped studying, period, the last week. He just lived lived March Madness for the week. If you're watching out there on Facebook, remember you can go to YouTube, find the way that's best for you to watch the show. Mm-hmm. And so connect with us on YouTube, connect on the app, SicEm365 app, download that, and you can watch or listen uninterrupted. Tell you what, too, this first hour of Uptempo is brought to you by Banson Business Services. You guys, you've heard of Banson Business Services. I use
Banson Business Services.
You use them. You're kidding. The first hour is Banson Business Services, owned by Baylor grad Sickum365 Premium member Jonathan Green. Banson Business Services offers a full suite of business support and financial services. Banson specializes in bookkeeping, payroll, outsourced CFO services, and consulting. They can help you with your taxes. And how about this? I love the slogan. Their business helps you run your business.
Wow. Let's go.
Visit Sickum365.com/Banson for more information. When we come back, we're going to play a game. I'm not sure what yet because I forgot to build a game for today, but we're going to play a game or do something. Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson. Don't go anywhere. This is Uptempo.
Finally Friday, and finally champions. The Baylor Bears, for the first time in school history, are champions of NCAA men's basketball.
Coach Drew and Baylor complete college basketball's greatest rebound and rebuild with a championship.
Lest we forget, it was Jared Butler who took home tournament MVP honors with a 22-point, 7-assist championship game. And Davion Mitchell, who earned first-team all-tournament with a dominant 16 assists in the Final Four alone. Elsewhere in basketball, Miami wing Earl Timberlake, one of the game's best transfers this spring, has committed to play for Penny Hardaway at Memphis next season. And Sharon Lewis, a former LSU associate athletic director, has filed a $50 million federal racketeering lawsuit after university officials allegedly retaliated against her for reporting racist and inappropriate sexual remarks made by then-coach Les Miles. In Baylor sports, multiple teams are in action this weekend with some major matchups going down in Waco. Starting in baseball, West Virginia comes to town for a 3-game series that starts tonight at 7:30 at Baylor Ballpark. The women's tennis team also in action tonight against Kansas State on the road, and the men's golf squad is in Bryant at the Aggie Invitational. The men's tennis team has a doubleheader tomorrow with Abilene Christian and Texas Tech. The soccer team plays at Oklahoma, and the acro and tumbling team looks for revenge against number 1 Oregon in Waco. And men's basketball is national champions. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a Petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Why are you the way that you are? Honestly, every time I try to do something fun or exciting, you make it not that way. I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell for the Blonde Boys Power Hour.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll, J.D. Pickell, Armstrong Sims, and Andrew Robertson. Gosh, man. Prince Philip died today.
I know. I don't understand. He was a prince, but he was married to a queen.
Yeah.
Someone walk me through that.
Will you bump it a little bit? Yeah.
Also, is DMX actually dead?
Yeah. We lost DMX and Prince Philip.
No way.
The same day. Comparable deaths, too.
Yeah, I don't know why, if you're married to the queen, why you're not the king.
Comparable deaths.
Dude.
We should.
Yeah, the short end of that stick.
We should riot.
We should the short end of that stick.
We should storm the Bastille. What happened to the boom, boom?
But if you close your eyes.
There it is. We should storm the Bastille.
Yeah, I'm in.
What is this?
Little coup. I'm looking at the DMX deal right now.
This is some extra bed music I have for
our. I can't hear it. For our competition. So over the course of the break, for those that are watching the show right now, we decided on what we're going to do right here, right now in studio. Tony's calling us though. Let's hit Tony really quick. We got like 3 minutes right here. Hey Tony, we got 2 or 3 minutes. What's going on, my man? He called us again. We asked him yesterday. What's going on?
Goat. I called y'all again. So there's a lot of things I want to talk about, so I'll try to condense it because I said you got 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah. I love it.
Actually saw something really, really neat. I guess a couple things. There is actually a in the Houston replay video on YouTube via the March Madness app or whatever. When Mark gets that turnaround jumper, it's funny if you actually watch the bench. They go absolutely nuts when he hits that jumper.
And he's doing
nuts enough that I actually think there's an explosive drop by somebody on the bench.
I would hope so.
And the whole situation is just hilarious to see them just go absolutely nuts. And they even make a comment in the broadcast about them going nuts. And just, I actually didn't know that he has a walk-on before all that happened. So I started doing more research. And so just watching that in that video is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I think, that just, go ahead.
Oh. And second thing is I was actually doing some creep around on Reddit, the last couple of days on the NCAA basketball, subreddit. And apparently when Jared Butler made that layup in the Villanova game at 9:35 left in the game, we went ahead. And Baylor, for the next 130-some-odd minutes of the tournament, only trailed for another minute and 30 seconds. And that was in the first couple of minutes of the Houston game. And literally Baylor trailed the rest of the tournament. And I just found that absolutely amazing. And I wanted to say, hey, we're still champions, Sickum Bears. And that's all I got.
Total domination. How about this, Tony? Tony see, Tony do. I love that Tony's calling in again.
Yeah, me too.
I love that. Tony, I think it was when Patterson hit the shot, he did a little, he ran down the sideline like he was an airplane.
This is euphoria.
He went airplane mode?
Yeah. Airplane mode.
Tony, Bear Games question of the day today. In your prime, if you could have the skill set of one of the Baylor athletes, one of the Baylor basketball players, who would it be? Do it with us. We're going to give.
Do it though.
It'd be two things. It would be David Mitchell because I love the on-ball defense. I miss that old school style of defense, and just that ball pressure that he can put on anybody at any given time. But I would still need Matthew Myers' hair though. Post-COVID.
The mullet.
Yeah.
The mullet.
That's a good call.
Matthew
That's
Meyer
a good call.
post-COVID hair. Tony, Disney movies. Let's see if you've seen these. Monsters, Inc. or Up?
Yes, I had to go with Up. I know everyone's not giving me love, but I've got to give Up love in this case.
It is. Up it
And
is.
to answer the next one, it's got to be whatever the opposite of Frozen is. I hate Frozen. I hate Frozen.
Yeah, I think Frozen 2 is the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Evaporation.
Right by Polar Express. Polar Express sucked.
I'm on that train
So
for
bad.
sure.
Oh,
Let's go
ton.
Polar Express.
Ton.
I'm on that train, baby.
Tony, thanks for calling us again. Do it. Don't listen. What's that?
I said thanks. Y'all have a fantastic day.
Yeah, it's a great day. Hey, Tony,
Awesome.
I would tell you to call me tomorrow, but don't. I won't answer it. I will not be answering calls tomorrow. I would love to talk to you tomorrow, but I won't be here. I only live between 11 to 2 Monday to Friday. I turn off after that, walk in the closet, plug up into the charger. This is my life now.
Reboot.
This is that and campaigning and intramural basketball.
You got to have those breaks. I get you. You got to have those breaks.
Yeah.
Gotta have those weekend-long breaks.
Gotta have work-life balance.
Tony, thanks for your call, man.
Thanks, Tony.
All right.
Dude, how hyped they got from Mark Patterson,
Tony!
though, speaks to how highly they think of him.
I love
Like that was awesome. I mean, if you don't like a guy, you don't get so pumped when he scores.
He's a KOT.
I
love this
He's
shirt.
a good guy.
You guys see this?
It's a great one.
I love this shirt.
Is that from
It's
the
got
bookstore?
final-
Is that a bookstore deal?
It's from I bought it at Indy.
Oh, really?
All right, folks. Bum ba bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 bum.
I got a timer and everything.
How is this gonna work?
I got a minute on the timer.
Okay,
You're
we
looking
need to carve this out
live.
here.
Yeah, also, I don't want any underhand.
The first annual up-tempo Papa Shot contest.
So what we're doing right here is a pop shot contest between
Okay.
JD
That's
and
what we
Andrew
decided.
and A-Rob.
Yep.
In
Let's see.
the
Is there
break.
like a timer we're gonna set?
Yep.
Is there like?
Yeah, I don't want any. I don't want
I got
any.
a timer on the screen.
Is it just free for all in terms of getting the
It
basketballs?
is a free-for-all.
All right.
Well,
What else would it be?
But you should have to. I think you should.
Maybe
have to
you
go up
get
and
two.
actually
There's two
take a shot.
basketballs per person.
Okay. You can't elbows. Elbow cannot cross the black.
I like that.
Okay.
So
we
bows.
can't be like leaning
No
out.
bows.
No bows.
No
yeah.
bows.
No
Wait,
bows.
No bows.
No bows.
No bows.
All right.
Be a ho,
Don't hit
no
my
mo.
camera.
Be a bow,
Don't
no
hit my
mo.
I don't hit the camera.
Okay, all right. So here's what we got. JD, go to take your places.
Go do this.
For those at home, we decided in the commercial break that I forgot to do a take two today because I've just been so excited about the national championship. What is a 2-minute drill? I got to do a 2-minute drill. So now instead, we're going to do a Papa Shot contest between JD and Andrew. This is something that SicEm365 Radio and Uptempo have never seen before. So not really sure. We're getting some warm-up shots put in there. No bows. No bows. How much have you put on the timer, Armstrong?
I put a minute, but I can do whatever.
I like a minute. I think a minute's good. Do you have the music? Let's crank the music up. All right. Well, wait. Before we got to do the walkouts. Hold on. Both you guys. Great music, by the way. Both you guys got to stand off the side, out of the camera shot. Out of the camera shot. That's the camera's right there. So over there. And now, can we hit the lights? The first annual up-tempo Papa Shot contest, standing at 5'10",
11.
5'11".
I believe it.
195 pounds. The muscles from Orange County, Sunshine. Standing at 5'10", 6'1", at 180 pounds, at 160 pounds,
Lower.
from somewhere high school, and now at Baylor, A-Rob.
A-Rob.
That's the best I got. That's the best I got. It's A-Rob. All right. The rules are, you get 2 points for every shot that goes in a goal, because it wouldn't be as fair if it was only one. What happened to the music? Yeah, okay, there it is.
There it is.
All right, you get 1 minute, and I don't know who's counting. You might have to count your own, because I think it's going to be too quick for us. Armstrong, you count A-Rob's, I'll count JD's, okay?
You got a lot of counting to do over there.
All right.
Ready?
Take your mark. 3, 2, 1, Papa Shot. Oh my God, JD, no, elbows. Oh my, A-Rob's killing it. JD just made his first. JD's got one. JD's got one. JD, use your art. Use the art. You're just chunking it.
A-Rob only has two.
JD's got two. Why is this so? Take your time.
God. Make a shot.
Why are you guys so bad at it? It's literally just pop a shot. Did you just do a left hand? Did you just use
two?
A-Rob,
you made two. 30 seconds.
I guess your right hand was so bad.
You hit three? Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. No one would. It's literally pop a shot. Elbows, JD. That's three.
That's 3 all.
That's four. Four for JD. 5 for JD.
4 for A-Rob.
6 for JD.
5 for A-Rob.
7 for JD. He got hot. Oh my, it's still 7. It's 8.
7.
8. We're tied. We're tied.
One more.
We're tied.
9.
9. Oh, we got a tie. It's tied at 9. It is tied at 9. It's over. It's over. Yeah, but the minute mark hit at 9. No, we're not going to end in a tie. A tie is like kissing your sister. Prince Philip did not die for this. We're not ending in a tie. We've got to, what do we do now? It was a tie.
We got to do a shootout.
A shootout?
Just like 1-1.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you match me?
Can you match me? All right. 1-1 shoot-off, you guys.
Time.
Take your places.
Where'd A-Rob go?
A-Rob's tying his shoe. That was
I think we knocked the whole thing down. We were very close to going down.
Wow.
That was
How did you only make
chaos?
The best part is that like 45 seconds in, they both had a combined 4 made shots,
Yeah.
and then just decided to.
They went off.
Drake had a couple points last night, and now we're.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't think anybody at home can hear you.
No, they can.
Yeah.
They can.
Stop. All right. It's not do or die. It's just shoot until like if it's a shootout. It's a shootout.
So is there more time on the clock?
No. Cue the music. It's a shootout.
It's just
you got to take your time for this. You got to take your time for this.
One shot, try to match it.
One shot, you got to match it. Yeah.
So if A-Rob misses here,
JD hits. A-Rob gets A-Rob. It's still you still get a shot. You get a shot to match no matter what. All right. On you guys. Wow. Oh, this could take forever. This could actually take forever. JD? Oh, he nailed it.
All right, A-Rob's got to make it.
If the ball's in A-Rob's court, he's got to nail this.
It's over.
It's over. The first ever up-tempo Pop-A-Shot contest it's going home with JD. But JD Pickell, don't get that stuck on your finger. This has been madness. April is mad, as they say. I'm Drake Toll. That's Muscles in a flamingo shirt. A-Rob's shooting some practice shots to get better for next time. Armstrong Sims is producing the whole thing. We'll be right back with Jeremiah Dicki. This is Up Tempo.
Finally Friday, and finally champions. The Baylor Bears, for the first time in school history, are champions of NCAA men's basketball.
Coach Drew and Baylor complete college basketball's greatest rebound and rebuild with a championship.
Lest we forget, it was Jared Butler who took home tournament MVP honors with a 22-point, 7-assists championship game. And Davion Mitchell, who earned first-team all-tournament with a dominant 16 assists in the Final Four alone. Elsewhere in basketball, Miami wing Earl Timberlake, one of the game's best transfers this spring, has committed to play for Penny Hardaway at Memphis next season. And Sharon Lewis, a former LSU associate athletic director, has filed a $50 million federal racketeering lawsuit after university officials allegedly retaliated against her for reporting racist and inappropriate sexual remarks made by then-coach Les Miles. In Baylor sports, multiple teams are in action this weekend with some major matchups going down in Waco. Starting in baseball, West Virginia comes to town for a 3-game series that starts tonight at 7:30 at Baylor Ballpark. The women's tennis team also in action tonight against Kansas State on the road, and the men's golf squad is in Bryant at the Aggie Invitational. The men's tennis team has a doubleheader tomorrow with Abilene Christian and Texas Tech. The soccer team plays at Oklahoma, and the acro tumbling team looks for revenge against #1 Oregon in Waco. And men's basketball is national champions. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With more than 160,000 alumni worldwide and counting, the Baylor family is growing. And through the university's expanded Baylor alumni program, the family is growing closer. With hundreds of local volunteers planning events in cities and towns around the country, you can gather with fellow Bears no matter where you are. So, get connected, get something started, get involved, and make plans to get together with Baylor alumni. Visit us at baylor.edu/alumni.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. If anyone is curious about CBD, ask Carol and Ashley. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
What you do in privacy is your own business. What you do in public with your truck, well, that's our business at Pickup Outfitters. In your garage, it's okay for your truck to parade around in the nude with no accessories. Hey, this is still America. But when you bring your truck out in public, it's just common decency to put an outfit on your truck. And that's where we come in at Pickup Outfitters. Put a cover on that bed. Cover your rear end with a bumper and a hitch, for goodness sakes. There are women and children on the roads. And guys, don't leave your tools exposed. Put them in a toolbox. Be proud of your truck and stand tall with a lift kit. Or improve your truck's posture with a leveling kit. Add some class to your pickup with new wheels and tires. Or dress up for a date with your new RV or boat with a fifth wheel or a receiver hitch. At Pickup Outfitters, we're dedicating to making the roads decent for all Central Texans. So when taking your truck out in public, remember your manners and accessorize it properly with an outfit from Pickup Outfitters. 220 Lake Air Drive in Waco.
Hey, this is Bryce Petty, former starting quarterback and two-time Big 12 champion, and I know firsthand the importance of being in top shape both on and off the field. So listen up, men. If you're feeling beat down day in and day out and looking for that high-performance edge that separates the men from the boys, then look no further than the Petty Clinic Low T in Waco. Petty Clinic is a comprehensive men's healthcare clinic with an atmosphere catering to men. Board-certified Dr. Kent Petty has a special interest in offering the highest quality medical care to men of all ages. Some of the services offered include screening and treatment for low testosterone or thyroid, infertility, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, sleep apnea, while offering comprehensive wellness exams and complete men's health lab panels. High performance men, remember, it's not just a petty thing. This is Bryce Petty, encouraging you to reach out and Google search Petty Clinic Low T or go to pettycliniclowt.com and get your complimentary lab screening today.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
Cynthia, Jesus died for our Cynthias.
Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Julia Roberts, Julia Love.
Now back to the Bears Den with Drake Toll.
And welcome back in to SicEm365's Up Tempo. I'm J.D. Pickell. Drake Toll has gone to walk his dog, but joining me now, the adopted pride of Waco, Texas, the real J.D., and the athletic director of Boise State University, Jeremiah Dicki. Jeremiah, thanks so much for joining us, man.
Hey, no problem. I appreciate that, and I'm not sure I'm the real J.D., but I do appreciate it.
Hey, you're the real JD in my book. How has it been to finally be able to settle in after hiring your football coach and wrapping up basketball season?
You know, I'm not sure I can say I'm settled yet. It's been a sprint, but a very enjoyable process. You know, going from being, you know, really at Christmas to interviewing for a job to then hiring a head football coach in a 2-week period was challenging to say the least, but you know, that probably defines a lot of my career. And so I was happy and very appreciative for the opportunity. And I'm glad to have the family here. We were just in Waco a couple weeks ago, which was nice. And family's finally here and getting settled in, and we're still unpacking boxes, but we're ready to roll and headed in the right direction.
Still unpacking boxes. Well, we're glad that you're able to be running the show over there, man. We're all excited for you here. Now, in terms of college athletics today, it seems like now more than ever, college athletic programs are very much so brands. So in that sense, you're sort of the CEO for the Boise State athletic brand. What will you take from Baylor over to Boise State?
We talk a lot about process. I look at what Scott and that team has done over the last 4 years and how every year has led to what they just accomplished. And quite honestly, it could have come last year if it wasn't for COVID. And just really excited for them, but specifically the process and the things I took away from Mac and our leadership there. Everything counts, everything matters, attention to detail. That's something that he's prided himself on, and I've been very fortunate to learn from him through that process. And so I'm really excited to do that here with our team. And the brand is unbelievable. Our staff and team has done an amazing job. The blue is powerful. Everyone asks me, are you going to change the blue? Absolutely not. If anything, I'm going to paint everything else blue. It is amazing what that brand has done for us. And at the same time, there are a lot of other things that we need to do to stay ahead of the curve and control what we can. And that really excites me to do that with our team here.
Does it change the blue? That's the best part. That is the Boise State brand. You can't go changing the blue. Yeah. In regards to the brand, there's probably no program more visible than your football program. Obviously, hiring Coach Avalos. What were some of the non-negotiables for you during that hiring process, finding your man to run that program?
Well, one, it had to be a national search. I think there was a lot of there were some assumptions. The Boise State family strong. You look at the last 3 or 4 coaches, and it's been they've had amazing success. And so naturally, your fan base wants you to stick with what's worked, which is great. But I did not want that to be the driver. We are a national brand. We needed to do a national search, and it was my responsibility to do my due diligence to make sure that we brought in the best possible candidate. And if he ended up being part of the Boise State family, then great. And that was how we approached it. And I was grateful for our president supporting me through that process and going through that week. And it was a very long week. But Andy and I ended up talking for over 4 hours. Wow. During our in-person interview. And it's just, there was something about him. And, I wouldn't say that necessarily non-negotiables, but there are things that obviously as the athletic director, you want him to align with you on work ethic and core values and his commitment to compliance and health and wellness of our student athletes, overall student athlete experience and how important that is to him. And all I can say is he's been everything that he was advertised to me, everything I saw in that interview plus more. I'm not having to I had a dinner last night and I asked him, hey, do you mind stopping by? These people are important to us. And he said, absolutely. Tell me what time. Wow. And a lot of times you don't get that, and he's showing up to gymnastics meets and he's showing up to volleyball matches. And that's something people think I'm telling him like, hey, you need to go. I'm not telling him anything. He's calling me and texting me saying, hey, go over with me. Let's walk over, and it just shows you how important the holistic approach is for him. And it's not just football anymore. And I think that's where you're going to see this overall program really strive for excellence and take it to the next level.
Wow, that's special. I mean, I know I'm fired up to see what they do on the blue turf this season. It's going to be a whole lot of fun to watch. Now, speaking of coaches, I'm not sure if you heard Scott Drew got himself a little piece of hardware the other night. Have you had any contact with him?
Other than just texting, congrats and reaching out to, I've had a lot of contact with staff and former teammates. It's hard to put in words. I mean, you've been a part of it and you've seen it from, you've been in that foxhole and for Scott to get there and to do it in this type of year, you probably couldn't have drawn it up any better. What he inherited and how he just kept grinding and the consistency of him as a man. I said it the other day. It was really, really neat watching him and Coach Sampson at Houston play, and 2 individuals that I have the utmost respect for and probably don't even realize how much I appreciate their style of leadership and how authentic they are. It's something that I strive to be, and it's easier said than done a lot of times. And what you see with both those coaches and specifically Coach Drew is what you get. And I could not be happy for an individual, but then the collective team. Dr. Livingstone, Mac, Dawn as the sport program administrator, all of the executive team, everyone played a role. Everything counted, everything mattered. And that's part of the process. And I hope they haven't slept all week. I hope they get to sleep at some point, but I hope they enjoy the heck out of it because it's hard to win. And to win at that level, I'm just so proud of them.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's slept in Waco since they won the whole thing. I think people are still lighting stuff on fire, and there's still a party going on 10th Street.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So tell me, what was that emotion like for you watching the school you served for 4 years claim a national title in basketball, and when did that set in?
It was really the first time. I'll back up. The first time that I actually, because I finally had the TV hooked up and we got, I wasn't just following on Twitter. The first time I watched a Baylor event was Kim's game against UConn, and I was a fan, and obviously I was extremely disappointed, and we don't need to get into that. But I feel very similar to probably the Baylor family and how all that went down at the end of the game. And but it was, my kids, like, this has been a part of our fabric of our family. Even if I wasn't traveling or following the team, I was watching. And but this time it was different. I was able to and maybe enjoy it a little bit more. And so it was really cool. And then you go into the national championship game and same thing, it was like, I finally had a team that made it,
yeah.
Which was great. And obviously having the connections and most recently being there just made it all that much more special. And my kids, it's cool. You're watching and you're like, oh, there's Mac. Oh, there's, Chad. Oh, and so you're going through and seeing all these people, and donors and friends of the program, and just a really, really neat experience. And if anything, I'm disappointed that usually I would be at the Final Four, but because of the restrictions and just this overall transition, I didn't go this year, and I'm disappointed I didn't. But we have a lot of Zags here. So in a way, it was somewhat of a win-win from a professional standpoint. I have a lot of Zags in the department, and obviously our basketball coach came as close with you and came from Zags. And so I had to be cautious in how much I supported, but it was a win-win. But I was really, really happy for Baylor. And it was just so cool seeing the social media presence. Like you said, things, people are partying. I had donors sending me videos of their kids and, partying and, at various places, I don't want to ask where, but it just was neat. Like after such a tough year, it gives you chills and I'm just really happy. So very long-winded, but it was an emotional deal, and I'm grateful to have had my time at Baylor and just be a part of it.
I was going to say, you were more than a part of it. You had a pretty large role in building and supporting what is now the national champion in the college basketball world. I mean, how much pride do you have in that at this point? I would imagine that's one of the emotions that you felt along with a myriad of others.
It's a tremendous amount of pride. I played a small part. I think that's something that you hear Mac talk a lot about, and it's something that I talk about here. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't care who gets credit. And my first thoughts were less about me and time, energy, and effort on the collective department. It wasn't every sport mattered to us, and you look at the success of Baylor right now, it's amazing. I remember when Mac, when I got the first call to come to Baylor, and obviously everything's going on, and I'm at the University of Houston, and I'm like, are you serious? And he said, yes. I said, are you sure? I hadn't talked to him much since he had taken the job. And he said, Jeremiah, we can win national championships here in every sport. And I said, really? And now obviously I didn't go to Baylor and I went to that other school that we don't talk about, South on 35. And that wasn't the Baylor I grew up with. But I came in on a visit and I saw the facilities and I saw what it had become and the academic profile and I'm like, okay, there's something here. And then you get there and then you see Dr. Livingstone and the support. It gives you chills because this won't be it's obviously not the first national championship, but it's not going to be the last. And his process works. And so I take a lot of pride in and just being a part of that team. And whatever piece I had in moving that needle, I'm more excited about, Jovan and DK. How about David K? Yeah. I mean, the guy's, sacrificing his own health for his buddy and to go through last year in COVID and this year. And I could not have been more happy for him. He was one of my first text messages of, I'm so proud of you and happy for you. It's just amazing, man. So I appreciate it. And so many people reached out and thank you. And I feel like I'm cheating the collective good by taking any credit whatsoever. I look at Don and Mac and Cody Hall and, a lot of people that you guys don't hear about, but that are so instrumental behind the scenes that make that place go. Chad Jackson, it's an amazing Kenny Boyd and the health and wellness team. Think about that. The fact that they could even play and then to come back from COVID issues. And there's a lot of thanks and appreciation to go around. So sorry, but I felt I would be remiss if I didn't mention them. They're outstanding.
No, don't you dare apologize about that. That is phenomenal. We love hearing about that. And then, I can't imagine the emotion that would go along with that. Seeing your former school win a national title, unbelievable. But when you got to Baylor in 2017, they were still sort of stacking bricks to be, more of a national power. When you arrived on campus and met Coach Drew, was there a feeling of like, okay, hey, we may be closer than a lot of people think? Are you surprised at all right now that we're having this conversation, talking about the Bears being national champions?
No. One, and probably a lot of people don't know this, my wife graduated from Valpo. And so she was there. And so she's a homer. And so the Drew family, I had heard, I knew a lot about the Drew family from, just from being with her. And, I had no doubt that Scott was the right guy. You saw it. And part of that, JD is just who he is as a person. And you get to know the staff and it just shows you that, it's hard to say like it was because of this one thing that this is why they took it to the next level. But I think it very much goes back to something that we continue to harp on is that everything counts, everything matters. It's the collective culture of the program, the department, the intentionality and the attention to detail in certain things. And wait till they get a new stadium, and I haven't, I have another job now. So I try to, I'm running out of hours, but I'm hoping that announcement, and I have no inside information. I have no idea. I haven't followed, but I'm really hoping that an arena or something is announced soon because this is one of those opportunities that this is just the start. And I would expect to see Baylor back there again. And his staff is amazing. And Joy, to think about the platform that provided after every game, them praying and the idea that a lot of people didn't understand what joy meant, but those are the type of things that you saw in that program very early on. And it takes time, it takes time. And now all of a sudden with this championship and Final Four, Scott's jumped in the top 10. And so all those haters that Scott can't coach, it was always, I don't know if I guess I'm allowed to cuss. I'm not at Baylor anymore. It was always BS, but I will tell you, Baylor's held to a higher standard because of what it represents. And you're not going to find a better person to represent it at the highest level. And that made me, I had my dad and my mom and, oh my God, they're talking about God and Christ and how much it means. That is powerful, especially in this day and age. And that may be, and I bet Coach Drew would agree with this. Winning is unbelievable, but that platform that it provided to witness to millions. I saw that 16 plus million people watched that game. I think was the almost 17 million, maybe, if I remember the numbers correct. How awesome is that? And that's what Baylor is, and that's what Baylor was to me, and that's why I'll always be a fan.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that. Absolutely unbelievable that culture got the exposure. But what is it about Coach Drew that allows him to build that culture of joy and have guys buy in?
The man has no ego or arrogance to him. he very much embodies, and I said it earlier, something that I would like to be here. And I feel like I've very much have tried to become more of a servant leader. And I've learned by watching, and I look at Scott, and he cares about those kids. It kind of, Baylor family probably noticed it. I don't know how much everyone else did, but how intentional they were to thank every student athlete that had come before, and to send them something and handwritten notes. And I saw all these pictures of guys showing up to the airport and the celebration. It's things like that. Not every program does that, and not every coach is thinking that way. And it's never been about Scott. It's been about the greater good of that institution, that community, and those kids. And he very much cares about them. And so I think that's a big part of it.
Now, when they do make the movie about this team this season, what is the one message you want to make sure the person in charge of directing that film gets right?
I think the Christ-led leadership. I think, and that may make a difference on who makes the movie, but that's such a huge piece and part of this story. And they would be remiss if they missed that. I know we live in crazy times right now, and everything has become extremely political. But my hope is that they don't pass that over, because that was a big part of Joy, and how he led and how that team came together. And you're doing it the right way when he had to say a lot less of it, and the other coaches, and you had the players representing it. And to see young men, who are going to be leaders in this community industry, in life in general, I hope they remember these times and how they got there, and that foundation that they built. That's powerful.
Without question. And we're so grateful to have you on, and thank you for your transparency and candor. Before we get you out of here, we do this little thing called Bear Games, where it's a little less sports-centric questions, but still obviously very vital information for us and for our viewership. We're doing this movie madness bracket. So March Madness, but with Disney movies. So we got Monsters, Inc. versus Up. Who are you going with?
Monsters, Inc. versus Up?
Mm-hmm. Heavyweight battle. Up. Wow. Okay. Up.
That's the one with the balloons where in the house, right? And they go, that's like one of the more emotional cartoons I've ever watched. I'm sitting there crying with my kids, his wife dies, but that's a great movie. That's one of our favorites. So that's a good show.
It's making a run right now. And then the second matchup, Lion King or Frozen?
Lion King, come on.
Yeah, okay. Got to go with the Blue Bloods there. Got to go with the Blue Bloods. Very last question. If you could have
the original Lion King, by the way.
Has to be, right? Yeah. There can't be any other Lion Kings getting votes. I'm 100% with you. Very, very last question. If you could have the skill set of one of these Baylor basketball players in your prime, so you go back, you're in your prime, and you have the skill set of a Davion Mitchell or a Jared Butler or Maceo Teague, who would it be?
What player?
Yes, sir.
Or what skill?
Let's go the skill set of that player. So you get Maceo Teague's dribbling, but you also get his shooting, and you're kind of tied to that whole skill set.
That's a good question.
This is the kind of hard hitting questions we ask.
Yeah. I would have to. I'm thinking about me playing, and I'm like, I don't know if any skill set fits with me. I was a horrible athlete. I probably Mitchell and his tenacity in the defense, and I was a defensive player, but I didn't look like I wasn't stacked like him. That was a huge difference, by the way. Shout out to Charlie Melton. It was men and boys, and that Baylor looked really good. I didn't realize how big they were until you compare them. But I think how he plays defense, and that would be his skill set.
I'm glad you mentioned that. They all look ready for summer for sure. like the biceps on some of that. Like they're ready to rock.
Yeah, I'm glad I grew up in a day and age, JD, that we didn't do a lot of weightlifting, and I don't know if I have the body type to even look like a basketball player anymore. I'm embarrassed to say, but yeah.
I was going to say, I think things probably worked out for yourself now. Again, the athletic director for Boise State University. Jeremiah, thank you once again for your willingness to join us today and for just the transparency and just everything that you were able to offer for us with this interview. We're grateful that you're a part of Baylor, and we're grateful for you sharing some time with us today.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you guys, and I'm a fan. Don't be a stranger, and if I can ever do anything to help you all, let me know.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, hey, keep it locked right here on Uptempo. Drake Toll will be right back from walking his dog after this break. This is Uptempo.
Finally Friday, and finally champions. The Baylor Bears, for the first time in school history, are champions of NCAA men's basketball.
Coach Drew and Baylor complete college basketball's greatest rebound and rebuild with a championship.
Lest we forget, it was Jared Butler who took home tournament MVP honors with a 22-point, 7-assists championship game. And Davion Mitchell, who earned first-team all-tournament with a dominant 16 assists in the Final Four alone. Elsewhere in basketball, Miami wing Earl Timberlake, one of the game's best transfers this spring, has committed to play for Penny Hardaway at Memphis next season. And Sharon Lewis, a former LSU associate athletic director, has filed a $50 million federal racketeering lawsuit after university officials allegedly retaliated against her for reporting racist and inappropriate sexual remarks made by then-coach Les Miles. In Baylor sports, multiple teams are in action this weekend with some major matchups going down in Waco. Starting in baseball, West Virginia comes to town for a 3-game series that starts tonight at 7:30 at Baylor Ballpark. The women's tennis team also in action tonight against Kansas State on the road, and the men's golf squad is in Bryant at the Aggie Invitational. The men's tennis team has a doubleheader tomorrow with Abilene Christian and Texas Tech. The soccer team plays at Oklahoma, and the acro and tumbling team looks for revenge against number 1 Oregon in Waco. And men's basketball is national champions. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Uptempo.
From the first workout to the last practice, sports is an incredible challenge. Hi, this is Dan Ingham with the First National Bank of Central Texas, and we're proud to support each athlete, every parent, and our educators. From families, small businesses, to the biggest industry, we're here to help. With remarkable products like First Free Checking, we've got banking ideas that fuel big dreams. The First National Bank of Central Texas. Familiar faces making local decisions.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Bird Culchin Ford has been in Waco since 1936. Ford, the #1 selling truck in Texas, 43 years running. And Bird Culchin Ford proudly supports high school football in Central Texas. And no better way to tailgate with a Ford than from Bird Culchin Ford. And are there better vehicles to tailgate with than the Ford F-150 or the Ford Expedition? And of course, you can get them new, pre-owned Bird Culchin Ford. Our sponsor of the Ford Tough Player of the Week, locally owned dealership. Online at bkford.com at 1701 West Loop 340 in Waco. Bird Culchin Ford.
The holidays are here, and I have a simple question for you. Will you weigh as much more or less than you do right now when the holidays are over? Why not end the year in better shape than when you started and create momentum for 2021? Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness has numerous options for stocking stuffer gifts with gift cards for gym or tennis membership, fitness merchandise, tanning, massage, tennis lessons, and personal training. Perhaps a gift for a client, a family member, or a friend. You just need to walk through the front door to change your life. Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness with personal trainers Christy London and Randall Corley. 40-plus group exercise classes, including twice-a-week boot camp. Spacious, clean workout room, free weights, Cybex cardio equipment, and no intimidation. A tremendous camaraderie and family atmosphere. So get the best and healthiest Christmas gift you can for someone or yourself. It's time to react today, not tomorrow, at Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness on Lake Shore Drive in Waco.
Learning to navigate life in the COVID-19 world has been a struggle, and where and how to get tested has been one of the biggest challenges. Impact Health Labs has your answer. If you need mass testing for your office, church, dormitory, or school, Impact Health Labs is who to call. They will come to you, conduct the testing at your location, and have the test back within 24 hours. Most major insurance accepted, meaning your out-of-pocket cost is low. So no more waiting by the phone for days to find out the results. Impact Health Labs was founded by 3 Army licensed and credentialed medical professionals. They believe in accuracy, efficiency, and doing the job right. Call 254-744-6233 to set up your group screening today. Impact Health Labs, on-site, prompt, and accurate, taking COVID-19 head-on. Again, that number is 254-744-6233 or online at impacthealthlabs.com.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
No capes. Do you remember Thunderhead? Tall, storm powers. Nice man. Good with kids.
Listen. Call us on the Impact Health Labs caller line at 254-339-1122.
Dyna guy, snag on takeoff. Splashdown, sucked into a vortex. No kicks.
Here's Drake Toll and Armstrong Sims.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. I'm Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims on Up Tempo today. That was J.D. Pickell. I walked JD's dog for a half hour because he had a call with Jeremiah Dicki, so I had to step out and walk his dog. But luckily, he is now walking his dog the rest of the way for the rest of the show, so he's got it taken care of. But now, for the first time ever in the history of Uptempo and SicEm365 Radio, we are making history today. History, consider yourself made, with Colt Barber in the state of the Sickum after a national championship. Colt, the first time ever that Uptempo has done the state of the Sickum with the Baylor Bears being crowned national champions of the NCAA in men's basketball.
Yeah, it's impressive, man. It's been a wild ride.
It's a big moment for everybody. It's a big moment for everybody. Colt, that's kind of where I want to start. I mean, this, with the national championship for Baylor and the coverage that SicEm365 has done across the board, I mean, it's great to see the growth that's come out of that. How much have we seen from the site to the radio shows to everything else in between?
Yeah, I mean, numbers are obviously great, and you look at any time that there's a national type story. If it's a Big 12 football championship, even women's basketball championships drive a lot. The championship games the couple days after, but we've never seen anything like this on this large of a scale with men's basketball. So you look at the numbers across the board for radio, for the website, subscription numbers. We're at an all-time high for an April 9th, right? So like every year we grow, but we're at an all-time high for subscription rates, premium subscribers, and that's a huge deal for us because if you know us, if you followed us for a long time, anyone, we've seen that we will always put back into this. So as we grow, we're going to put it back in. And the more that we can grow, the better, man. The better content that we get, the more opportunities to improve our content, right? And that's the end goal for all of us. So if Baylor has success, we have success, and we're going to put more into this and hopefully continue to not necessarily promote Baylor, but cover Baylor at a very high level.
Colt, I know there are still a lot of folks out there that, and for most people, you kind of find your niche of the things that you follow along with, whether that be radio or premium subscribers on the site or folks that are just listening to the podcast. What are some of the highlights, I guess, in the last week or so of the national championship coverage that folks can check out?
Yeah, I mean, just mainly the interviews that you guys are doing, that the Late Show is doing, SicEm365 Radio. Obviously, that entire umbrella just has the opportunity to talk to former players, talk to analysts. That, I mean, truthfully, the type of publicity that this generates just organically is tremendous for us because, you know, there's times when we bring on guests or you guys bring on guests that you discuss with that it's just kind of lost in the shuffle, right? But everyone wants to hear this content right now. It's just an opportunity to hear, people like a Jay Bilas or, Jeremiah Dicki, for instance. For him to talk about and give his experience of being at Baylor and then leaving and then seeing Baylor win a national championship in men's basketball, that reflection that people don't get to see that type of stuff very often, right, for this high of a level. So that's the biggest feature that I would talk about, is that just the organic excitement that you get from multiple levels of the coverage from us, but just from the coverage of the national perspective.
Colt, when you think back to when SicEm365 started and even your coverage of Baylor prior to SicEm365 and the birth of the outlet, could you ever have imagined? You talked about the names in there, the Jeremiah Dickis, the Jay Billases, the Seth Greenbergs, the Matt Norlanders that have been on, even, the Mark Pattersons, stories like that. Could you ever have imagined that this much content and these names would be coming through the outlet or an outlet like SicEm365 so soon?
Yeah, you want those things to happen, right? That you envision those things happening, and not just because of a national championship. You just want that credibility to have those people on your website, and that's the reason that we do what we do, right? That's the reason we bring on a David Smoak that has that reputation for 10 years covering Baylor, who's developed those relationships. And so we want to be able to do that, and then also continue to grow our relationships around the country, and not just to help someone, help out up-tempo, for instance, but just to have the reputation is crucial. And the fact that it just comes to a head, it's truly remarkable to see those relationships pan out for an instance like this, that you can discuss a national championship for this team, not just to talk about a big Monday against Kansas, right? That's fun and all, but you're talking about a national championship. So no, this is not anything you ever envisioned playing out this way. You work towards that with the hopes that it's eventually going to happen.
Colt, the variety of content, too. I was talking with somebody at Baylor about diversity, not just in staff, but diversity in content, and having different staff members who maybe, hey, this person loves to write, that person loves to write, but different styles of writing that tailor to different viewers or a different audience. Having a variety of content between podcasts, the shows, the different styles in which Sickum does things. Do you feel like, what is that like from your standpoint, having that kind of variety in a time especially like this?
Yeah, it's something that we're always working towards. And one thing that I've kind of learned doing this is that you can create multiple pieces of content out of original piece. So you have an interview with Mark Patterson today and say, man, there was a great quote in that. Well, you have originally, it was on radio. It turns into a cut up that you put onto a podcast that you use that quote. Then you eventually turn it into a written piece, or you turn it into a Twitter piece. So you're organically creating content, different layers of content from one original piece. So what we always want to strive to do is provide that to, you have 2,500 premium members. You want to provide that. There's going to be a third of those who like written content, a third of those who like video, a third of those who like audio that would rather listen to a podcast. So how do we provide that to every single type of member? And that's one thing that we've tried to do. Now, I think at times we get geared towards, man, we really need to do it this way, and we overbear that. So we need to find a good balance, and that's what we need to work towards, is how do we staff the ability to write, have written content, to have video content, and have audio content. Once we do that, find that balance, and we can get our content out to those people in multiple ways, we're doing our job. Now, it's never ending. We always want to be better at it, but that's ultimately the plan. And if we can provide all of those, and we can keep people on the website and keep following us, that's what we're trying to do.
Colt, we've got a lot of folks, we've already talked about that have jumped on with Sicum365's content post Baylor winning the national championship, or even with the success into the Final Four. Tony, one of our callers who called yesterday and today, he said, hey, not a long-time listener, first-time caller, but a new listener as of a week ago because of Baylor basketball's success. For those that are just now getting to immerse themselves in the Sicum365 content, talk to what sets Sicum365 apart from other outlets that cover Baylor sports that folks should be attracted to for this outlet.
Yeah, I think there's just a passion, right? Like you look at the guys that ownership group that started this, and it's Brian Etheridge and Ashley Hodge and I. We're all Baylor people. We have a passion to do this, and we have to make sure that we walk that fine line of being passionate about Baylor, but also knowing that we need to do our jobs. Like we can be considered too negative at times, right? Well, you're a Baylor person. You should not be this negative. We can be too positive, right? I think it's finding that balance, but that's the passion that drives us to do this, to find this success and to make this successful, because you apply someone that doesn't have a passion for Baylor, and it's not going to be nearly as successful, or it could be as successful, people, but what's going to drive me after the first 5 years is that I still love Baylor. Someone else I wouldn't do that. So I think that's the number one thing, that people understand that we have a passion for Baylor and to find success, and we want Baylor to have success, and we want to cover Baylor as they're having success. So that's the number one thing. And then the decisions that we make in hiring and firing, or hopefully not firing, but whatever decisions we have to do, not you, Drake, obviously, but finding the right fits to plug in, that's going to be something that we don't take lightly. That we have tons of people who reach out to us, and we appreciate all those people, but it's always about finding the right fits and the people that understand and share that passion with us. So at the end of the day, I think everyone that's on this website or listening or whatever it might be, if they understand that everything that we do is because we have Baylor's best interest at heart, we'll grow to love our content a little bit more.
Colt, I want to know and get your thoughts on this. Kendall Kaut joined the show yesterday and talked about the new book that's coming out about Baylor's run to the national championship. There's a magazine that's currently available at the bookstore. The book drops in 2 weeks. Somebody mentioned on the forum on SicEm365.com, like, hey, I love the fact that Sicum365 is sharing the love with a guy like Kendall Kaut that works for ODB, and just helping promote Baylor and things that are great for Baylor, no matter who, no matter where the contributors are from. Can you speak to that a little bit about the shared love between different outlets locally?
Yeah, I mean, it really goes back to the fact, we've done stuff with, like, for instance, Our Daily Bears Forever. We did podcasts with them. We would conglomerate with them for podcasts before we had a radio show. We would do different things. And now we haven't done that as much recently, but that's something, it stems back a long time that we've always done that. And at the end of the day, if we're competitors or not, like, I don't really consider Our Daily Bears as a competitor. They don't have premium subscriptions. They take a different approach to content the majority of the time, but it's still a competitor in other many ways. But everyone that works hard in this industry, there's an opportunity for everyone to survive. We see it if you're covering the University of Texas, if you're covering Texas A&M, there's opportunities to survive. So we might not go out and pull on the 247 guys who are a direct competitor with us, but we wish them well in everything they do, because obviously they want to do it for a reason. They love to do it, but they more than likely, especially for a place like Baylor, that covering Baylor sports, is more than likely to have a passion for Baylor athletics, and we don't want to take that away from anyone.
I love it. I love the shared content, too, and having Kendall on is always awesome. Coach Kaut's one of my favorite guests that we have on the show. Colt, with all of this going on from a personal standpoint, yourself being a guy who bleeds green and gold and red, because that's how the anatomy works, what is really your emotion, your feeling within the last week, Baylor winning a national championship?
Man, truthfully, and we've discussed it on the board, I haven't really taken an opportunity to really reflect on it. I think back to when I was in middle school, and I took some friends up to a Baylor basketball game. And I don't know if y'all remember Tommy Swanson or that team when Scott Drew was like middle school. When I was in middle school, it was like 2005-ish, 2004, 2003, a little bit before, right when Scott Drew got there. And we went up, and man, there was nobody there. I had like 4 or 5 of my friends, and just the fact that it went from no one there. Tommy Swanson was a star player, averaged 15 points, 6 rebounds as a junior or so. And looking back to that moment, like I remember like it was yesterday. We were yelling in the stands, and there was literally no one there. Like we were griping at officials, just like I continue to do on Twitter. Right, it was a lot of fun. But now I'm like, man, that from that moment until now, here we are. Right, like that 17 years ago, I think it was when Tommy Swanson was either a sophomore or junior. That this team is just it's just amazing to look back at. And I don't think it will ever sink in truly, especially as we continue to work on projects and do different things. Like you're just always forward facing, right? Like it's hard to look back, but it truly is remarkable. And at some point it will kind of settle in with me. But I think just experiencing it, and the more that you can do to experience it, right? Like you can set in and you can enhance your experience. Even though you might not be looking back, one day you will look back and say, from not only that moment that they won the national championship, but the week, the 2 weeks, the year after, how much fun was that? Just kind of getting to talk trash to all your friends and having a lot of fun with it.
I love it. I love it. Twitter, obviously, and your dismay for officials. I partook in that in the national championship game. I'll tell you.
I think I lost some followers on that one. That was I'm passionate about that though. Like it is one of my biggest pet peeves, college basketball officiating, and I had a few people that stopped following me, and I watched it. I would take note of saying, okay, I think I lost like 50 followers over the course of between like the Elite Eight and the national championship game, and then I got them back, or someone followed me, right? But it's a passion, and I have more fun with it. I think college basketball officiating is awful for the most part. I much prefer the NBA game, and it's how they call a game. I wish they would do that more with college basketball. I think there's a lot of inconsistency, but it's fun. At the end of the day, when your team wins the national championship, I mean, you can gripe about it and still be happy at the same time.
That's true. It's what Twitter is free. I love those tweets that this app is free. I have joined the Twitter fandom in the last month or so. Colt, you're talking about new content that's coming out in the wake of Baylor's national championship run, and I know there were mentions on the forum on the premium site about a documentary. What can you tell us and fill us in about that documentary and what's kind of going into play there?
Yeah, so I mean, originally we've been talking about this for a while. Like, it's always been on my mind. Like, when is the right moment going to happen? When are we going to know now is the time to move forward with this? And so my original early in the season when they clinched the Big 12 championship, or when we realized it was relevant, I texted Brian and Ashley. I was like, look, we're going to have to move forward with this, right? And I have a passion for film anyways. I studied film at Baylor for a little while, and it was one of those, like, let's be prepared to pounce on this when it happens. So they win the Big 12 championships. Okay, that's a good end. Like, if you're going to end the story, that's a great ending point, right? They win the conference championship. They're ranked number 1 or number 2 in the country. They're going to be a 1 seed. You don't know what's going to happen after that. But then it just built. Like, it built from that, and then they win. They go to the Final Four, and then they win the national championship. So it's like, okay, we have to do this. So literally Monday night, there's a buddy of ours that's in the Waco area, and we're going to release this information later once we get some more stuff finalized. But he's a producer. He does a lot of film work, and we messaged him and we said, hey, let's do this. Let's figure it out. So we started raising funds organically, kind of grassroots campaign through the website. We've done really well. I'm really surprised at how quickly it's done. It's still coming in, and that was the original plan. And then we have a Baylor fan who connects us to another really high-end director, and he says, "Hey, we're going to have more information on this. I'm not ready to release it yet, but it's like, hey, this could be a big opportunity for you." And so we get in contact, and now we're at the point where we're looking at a much larger budget of a film that we're going to need to raise and invest in. That could be a national type production that could, you never know who's going to buy it. You look at Amazon or Hulu or someone like that. That's the plan. That's the goal. And so that's where we are, and we have more information. I'm waiting on a phone call actually later today to finalize some stuff, and when we can release it, we will. But there's a lot of excitement for it, and I think that Baylor fans they know the story, but to see it, to actually live it again, we want to be able to tell that story, right? Ashley, for one, he's been there through the thick and the thin, but all of us, we've seen it, and we want to tell that story. And in a selfish type of way, we don't want anyone else to tell it. We don't want a mainstream media outlet to tell the story. We want to have a presence on it that from a Baylor fan's perspective in so many ways. So we're excited about it. How long this will take, I think we could be beginning on it pretty soon. So we're really excited about it, though, and I think it's going to be something Baylor fans will be really excited about.
Documentary in the works. Write it down about the Baylor season national championship run in 2021. It's 2 decades.
And to be clear on that, it's actually going to be going. This will be something that covers back,
2 decades.
Not just the season. Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun to do.
Oh my goodness, I'm excited for it. I mean, there's got to be a movie, a documentary, a something about this season. Cole, we actually have a fan out there that's a listener out there that's asking a question, wants to get your thoughts on this. Catherine says, don't want to be negative, but would love some insight on why Bob Bowlesby's not the biggest maybe Baylor fan, or doesn't come off as the biggest Baylor fan. She said she rode an elevator with him to the hotel room after the game and asked if he was proud of Baylor, and he kind of grunted, frowned, walked out of the elevator. Said, maybe do you see it the same way? Maybe Baylor doesn't get the love that some schools do from the administration of the conference?
Yeah, I'm actually. Does Bob Bowlesby have a Twitter? Like, I'm looking through, and I'm not sure if he does. Like, has he tweeted anything about Baylor? That gives me a good point to look back. I don't know. I think that it stems back to the Art Briles situation back in 2014. Baylor wins the Big 12 championship. Art Briles calls out Bob Bowlesby and says, "We won the head-to-head, right?" And he basically put him on the platform and said, "You have a decision to make now. We beat TCU. Are you going to put Baylor?" It considered them the number one team in the conference. And I think that, and the way Baylor fans went after him, he has to be sour about that. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know Bob Bowlesby personally, but I think there's probably some decently bad blood there. And I don't, I haven't really kept up with it. My first reaction to go check on the Big 12 Twitter, right, to go see if Bob Bowlesby has a statement about Baylor winning the Big 12 the national championship in basketball. But if he doesn't have some form of pride, this is the first national championship for a football or basketball program since 2008 in the Big 12. 2005 was before that. So 3 in basically the last 16 years. He better be praising Baylor quite a bit if he hasn't already. So I think there is that type of, there's some bitterness, but when you have a team like that, women's basketball also has really been in 3 of the major sports, and women's basketball is not a revenue sport, right? But you have men's basketball, women's basketball being headlines nationally for the last, women's basketball for the last decade plus, men's basketball for the last couple of years. If he might be a little bit sour what happened previously, he also has to have them in the good graces a little bit.
Yeah, Catherine makes a point. She said he does have a Twitter and hasn't said anything. And you got to think, Colt, and this is kind of where I'll wrap up a little bit on the national championship coverage and that win. You've got to think, with that victory, Baylor being on the national stage, everything you see in the media, Scott Drew, Jared Butler, Davion Mitchell, no matter who it is, they talk about the culture of joy. I mean, could not have a better representation for Baylor University in national media. B, that's reflective on the Big 12 too. So you would think the Big 12 administration would want to highlight that, but I guess not too much yet. That said, though, Colt, what does that say about this university, the outlets locally, the city, the culture, to have that kind of representation in the national media?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. And you look back to when Robert Griffin won the Heisman and the way that they have their formula to say how much is this worth from a marketing perspective. And this absolutely trumps that tenfold. And you talk about the Big 12 championships in football. I think that's football's king, right? Like, it's going to drive a lot. But the Final Four in the national championship is massive. I mean, even though the Final Four in the national championship games were down in viewership, it was I think it was more highly rated than any NBA Finals game from last year. And that's just remarkable to think about. So you talk about the exposure for the university is massive. You start talking about people taking note of what Baylor does, because on a regional level, yeah, the Big 12 championship in football is great, but Baylor has struggled in those games. In the Cotton Bowl, you talk about the Cotton Bowl, the Sugar Bowl. Like, unless you're winning those games and solidifying yourself, you don't get that national respect. But now Baylor has a reason to have national respect, and for all the women's program does and how much we love the women's program, it just doesn't have that same type of draw. But when you combine those things together and you start talking about which programs around the country have won a national championship in men's basketball, women's basketball, gone to 3, New Year's Six type bowl, BCS type bowls in the last decade, there's not a lot of teams that can point to it. And then throwing a Heisman on top of it, Baylor's had a lot of success that people can point to. At this point, this is the cherry on top.
Wow, it's been an unbelievable decade, and obviously sustained success is there. You would think for this men's basketball program, football is on the up with the new hirings on the offensive side. I mean, it's an awesome time to be a Baylor Bear. And then you look at the baseball and softball season and see how those play out. Colt, Bear Games questions of the day today. Am I missing anything? Is there anything else state of the Sickum that we got to cover?
I mean, not specifically. It's been a crazy week, to say the least. I mean, it feels like a lot longer. 5 days or whatever it was, since Monday. It seems like a lot longer. I didn't get much sleep this week, but it's been a whirlwind, and now we get to move into spring football. A little bit more excitement. It's a different way to move into spring football than usual. Usually, you're coming into this after a loss, and after a basketball loss, and it's not the same this year.
No, it's not. It's going to be basketball season for a long time around here, I've got a feeling.
Right.
Bear Games questions of the day, Colt. In your prime, if you could have the skill set of one of the current Baylor basketball players, who would it be?
Man, you've asked this to your other guests, and man, I still don't really know. I would have to say Davion Mitchell, right? Because you look at a guy, if you say you start from high school and you have that type of skill set, the opportunities are limitless. Like, you talk about going and playing safety or cornerback in football, right? You can be so talented. So I think if you have perspective of one, the natural athletic ability, I think I take him because I have two paths that I can go. I think you could say I could be an elite cornerback in the NFL, or Mark Vital, I guess, is I'll say this. Mark Vital going and playing football, I think he would be tremendous playing tight end, defensive end. Davion Mitchell, though, could be elite at both. I think that he's going to be a top 10 pick. And if he was playing cornerback for, say, use this as an example, not to discredit Baylor, but say for Alabama, how good would he be playing cornerback at the University of Alabama?
Colt, I don't know, man. Like, the skill set is there, but if I'm thinking about the most taxing position to play on the football field, where you got to have the most stamina and you got to work the hardest and every play matters, it's corner or safety. On the basketball floor, it's a guy like Davion that plays really good on-ball defense. Like, yeah, the athleticism's there, but so much effort. Like, I just want to be Matthew Meyer. I just want to be able to shoot the ball from anywhere, do whatever I want, you know? Like,
get the kick-out pass and put it up.
Yeah, I just want the Matthew Meyer shot, really. You know,
turnover, nobody really cares.
Bingo. And like, if I don't play unbelievable defense, it's kind of okay. Like, nobody's waiting for me to play great defense.
So you want the high-end potential, and not necessarily everybody loves you at all points.
Right, but at the same time, you're also kind of the meme guy that everyone does love you when you
semi-famous.
Right. If you ever hit if you shoot 1-3, automatically you're the best player on the team. I think that's probably where I want to be with that one. Disney movies, see if you've seen these. Monsters, Inc. or Up?
I feel like we've done this before, and I don't know. Is this a bracket? Is this going through? Okay.
Somebody's been watching the show.
I'll go. Yeah, I mean, Monsters, Inc. Like, it has to be Monsters, Inc., right? Like, I was not a big Up guy. Like, I thought Up had a good storyline, probably better, but I think just the stigma of Monsters, Inc. is just, I think it's a little bit more powerful.
Lion King or Frozen?
Lion King. So I have two kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So we haven't done the whole Frozen thing. So maybe my opinion changes, but I don't have a desire to watch. I have 6 nieces and nephews, and I have no desire to watch Frozen. Just based on their singing the songs and that type of stuff. So I'm like, I don't think I'm going to introduce my kids to Frozen.
No,
so
I would definitely keep your distance from the movie Frozen, especially Frozen 2. That was a disaster of a movie. That was a disaster. Worse than Polar Express. Almost. No, Polar Express is the worst. Colt, thanks for coming on and breaking things down across the national championship. Always good to hear from you. And, man, I'm sad. I don't know what I'm going to look at on Twitter now that basketball season's over. Hopefully you hate umpires just as much.
I'll retweet. No, umpires is not a big deal. That's I think basketball is so fast paced that it changes things.
Oh, maybe so. Colt, thanks again for joining us. Look forward to doing it again next week.
Absolutely, guys. You have a good one.
All right, that was Colt Barber, owner, CEO, Grandmaster, Chief Executive Officer. I guess that is CEO of SicEm365 alongside Ashley Hodge and Brian Etheridge. When we come back, we're doing our top 5 of the week this week. What are the best things that have happened this week? I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. One of them happened in today's show. That's all you get. Don't go anywhere. You'll see what they are. Coming up after this is Up Tempo.
Finally Friday, and finally champions. The Baylor Bears, for the first time in school history, are champions of NCAA men's basketball.
Coach Drew and Baylor complete college basketball's greatest rebound and rebuild with a championship.
Lest we forget, it was Jared Butler who took home tournament MVP honors with a 22-point, 7-assist championship game. And Davion Mitchell, who earned first-team all-tournament with a dominant 16 assists in the Final Four alone. Elsewhere in basketball, Miami wing Earl Timberlake, one of the game's best transfers this spring, has committed to play for Penny Hardaway at Memphis next season. And Sharon Lewis, a former LSU associate athletic director, has filed a $50 million federal racketeering lawsuit after university officials allegedly retaliated against her for reporting racist and inappropriate sexual remarks made by then-coach Les Miles. In Baylor sports, multiple teams are in action this weekend with some major matchups going down in Waco. Starting in baseball, West Virginia comes to town for a 3-game series that starts tonight at 7:30 at Baylor Ballpark. The women's tennis team also in action tonight against Kansas State on the road, And the men's golf squad is in Bryant at the Aggie Invitational. The men's tennis team has a doubleheader tomorrow with Abilene Christian and Texas Tech. The soccer team plays at Oklahoma, and the acro and tumbling team looks for revenge against number 1 Oregon in Waco. And men's basketball is national champions. I'm Armstrong Sims, and that's all the news that is news in college sports. This has been Armstrong's Minute on SicEm365 Radio's Up Tempo.
With your Ram truck from Allen Samuels, you may not have to plow through snow and mud or pull heavy loads, but you could. During the Big Finish year-end event, you get a Ram deal like no other. Employee pricing for all, 0% for 84, and no payments for 90 days. Ram 1500 Lone Star for Christmas. No other truck comes close. And ask about Big Finish pricing on Ram Heavy Duty and Ram ProMaster for your business. Happy holidays from Allen Samuels.
How did Edward Jones become one of the biggest financial service companies in the world? By not acting that way. Financial strategies, one-on-one advice, it's a big difference. And that's why Brad Wilson, your Edward Jones financial advisor, makes sense of investing. Experience the difference for yourself. Brad Wilson, 250 Sharon Drive in Woodway, 254-776-4337. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be a part of the Waco community. We're a small family business right here in Central Texas, and our goal is to bring down the cost of healthcare while maintaining high quality. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important, and unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. That's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through the difficult time. We offer premium MRIs just like a hospital with state-of-the-art technology and specialists, but you'll pay less. Sometimes thousands of dollars less, whether you're using insurance or not. At Ideal MRI, we accept most insurance and there are no hidden costs. Even offering financing if that's needed, everything included in the price, and you'll not get something as a surprise in the mail later on. If you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. They'll know. You can schedule an appointment safely from home online in minutes at idealmri.com or give us a call, 833-IDEAL-MRI, idealmri.com.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Stop by and see our agents at one of our 3 McLennan County locations.
Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Waco Custom Marketplace is your home for holiday favorites for parties and the time with family. Various specials available in-store and online. A variety of steak gift boxes with 4 ribeyes for $70, 4 bacon wrap fillets for $55, or 4 New York strips for $50, and all come with steak butter. Fall snack box for watching a game or wrapping presents or hosting people at your house, including summer sausage, split horn, and jalapeno cheese, and salted crackers for only $35. 2 pieces of lobster tails with herb butter and 2 bacon wrap fillets for $60. Order online or call in advance to ensure availability, or drop by Waco Custom Marketplace at 425 Lake Air Drive. Waco Custom Marketplace has a full-service butcher shop for customized orders or cuts of your favorite steaks or beef tenderloin or specially ordered prime rib roast. Plus, what you want with pork, poultry, seafood, and more. Waco Custom Marketplace, 425 Lake Air Drive in Waco, or WacoCustomMarketplace.com.
I got breaking news here. We got Western Athletic Conference just announced they're adding several schools.
The WAC.
The WAC.
Okay.
Welcome back to Up Tempo on SicEm365 Radio.
I think Coach Gundy would be like my guy that I would just like just the hair. Yeah. I just want to be able to see it flow when I kind of slam his arm down.
Here's Drake Toll.
Welcome back into the Petty Clinic Low T Bears Den. It is time for this week's top 5. What are the top 5 things that happened all week this week? We got to put this on YouTube. Right, Armstrong? All of it together combined?
The segment?
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, sweet.
I was also going to put up just the individual videos.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I love that idea. Hey. Thanks. Top 5 this week. A lot of things happened this week. More than 5. More than 5 things happen.
No.
Yep. On this show specifically. That's not even combining this show and the afternoon show. More than 5 things happened. Took us a while to narrow this down to the top 5 things. For those that maybe didn't make it to the end of yesterday's show, shame on you. It's okay. I get it. I don't make it to the end of every day's show. Yesterday, though, I did make it to the end. I actually didn't. I didn't finish the show yesterday. There was no way I could have after this. We played This Day in Sports History, and I follow the same website every day to check out what happened this day in sports history. And yesterday, I don't know why it was on there, and I didn't know what it meant. I just read it, and this is what happened. Daryl Strawberry enters Betty Ford Clinic. Oh, no. You know what that means.
Is that a drug rehab clinic?
Later, guys.
Is that what happened? Why? Oh, yeah, it's been up tempo. Thanks.
Oh, that's so good. He says, this has been up tempo, thanks. Is that a drug rehab clinic? When you take into account the music, oh, would you look at the time? And then just the subtle, oh my goodness. I had no idea what it meant either. That was good. And then that's what happened today? That's what happened today? Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff from yesterday's show. That's the way we closed it out. I swear, that is the hardest I've laughed on this show. That was so good. Another moment from yesterday's show that I loved. That was number 5. This is number 4. And we had a poll out there for the fans, for the folks at home, on whether or not you guys had seen Reading Rainbow, and it turned into it's a top 5 segment all time, but it's only number 4 this week. Check it out. Adrenaline. Elation. Okay.
National titles.
It's a championship game, Alex. Let's take it.
Game, Alex.
I love that. Let's take a poll in the room. Who here watched Reading Rainbow in high school?
Oh, yeah. High school. Ooh.
Maybe like middle. Okay, yeah. If you watch Reading Rainbow in high school, you have problems. I also watched Reading Rainbow.
Give me a little bit of context.
Take a look. It's in a book.
Never watched
Reading Rainbow.
I went to public school, but I did not.
Freaking Rainbow.
Never heard of it.
Anywhere.
Not even before high school. Before high school, y'all didn't watch that? Like Rainy Day, Recess.
I watched a lot of Magic School Bus.
Okay.
A lot of
I never even heard
Magic School Bus.
Seeing it. I never even heard of Reading Rainbow until Drake told me about it this morning.
It's Shaka Khan.
Yeah,
Shaka Khan sings the theme song.
Shaka Khan?
Shaka Khan sings the theme song.
I did not know that.
And LeVar Burton hosts. LeVar Burton.
Was a show?
Dude, I couldn't.
Was it live action?
I couldn't name any of those people, but I did know Reading Rainbow.
LeVar Burton.
Shaka Khan. The only reason I know who Shaka Khan is because she was in a Phineas and Ferb episode.
She was? What?
Goat show.
Dude, I bet Reading Rainbow won some Emmys.
Reading Rainbow.
Let's look it up.
Stop singing.
It's so catchy.
Take a look.
It's in a book.
Reading Rainbow.
Don't worry, Armstrong. I've never heard of it.
He's gonna mute both of our mics, and it's the Armstrong and Andrew show.
Feels like we're on Around the Horn where
Why don't we
they
do
mute
that?
them. Like Tony Reali mutes the people and they lose points.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we have like Andrew and Armstrong on the next show? You guys can do the morning show.
Wow.
The Andrew and Armstrong show. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Andrew and Armstrong here.
The Double A show.
Yeah. You guys.
Get your batteries charged with Double A in the morning.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
That's off the dome.
Off the
we got
dome.
Double whatever we pay you. Quadruple it.
If I took over the show,
Quintuple
the
it.
questions I'd ask the callers would be interesting.
Okay, check this out.
Call in if you kiss your immediate family members on the mouth.
Mike Leach, very like Mike Leach questions.
Okay.
If you're a pirate, who would you be?
I want to know.
I just looked it up. Spoiler. Okay. How many Emmys do you think Reading Rainbow has won?
0.
Okay.
Wait, I mean, by that question.
So it's won some Emmys. How many do you think it's won?
7.
1 Emmys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Reading Rainbow was up.
All right, so they just
spoiler. It's won a lot of Emmys.
They just give Emmys to anyone these days.
It's won 26 Emmy Awards.
Reading Rainbow.
26 Emmy Awards.
26 Emmys.
10 of which were the most outstanding children's series.
The only reason I know who LeVar Burton is because of Community, the show.
Yeah.
Well, he's famous because of Reading Rainbow.
Really?
Jack Wheeler, our father says, I have failed Armstrong as a roommate for not showing him Reading Rainbow.
Hold on, I'm gonna search it up. Maybe I have seen it.
Donald Glover.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Donald Glover cries in the show Community. singing Reading Rainbow.
Yeah, it's good. Really good. He's like I forget the context of that, but it's really good.
Because he's so scared of LeVar Burton.
Is that what it
Community,
is?
Yeah. Because Pierce pays LeVar Burton to come to the hospital when Pierce is on his deathbed, and LeVar comes to meet Donald Glover and Childish Gambino, and he's just scared to death.
I will say I have no idea what Reading Rainbow is about.
Okay,
like
now,
I remember the
LeVar
theme song, I remember
Burton
watching
is-
it. I have no idea what happened in any episodes.
Did you know
He's going to host Jeopardy, I think.
That's what I am just now saying.
Like long
LeVar
term
Burton wants
Breaking news.
Not just Aaron Rodgers hosting.
He like long term he wants to, because of his Reading Rainbow success, he thinks he can get the Jeopardy job.
Yeah.
He has 26 Emmys.
There's 26 Emmys. There's 26 more than any of us have
Crazy. I
combined.
never heard the show.
It's time for me to confirm that I have never seen a second of Reading Rainbow ever.
Wow.
Never.
Interesting.
So
wow.
Maybe
I'm sure we got listeners out there that have seen Reading
you're a
Rainbow.
legend.
Maybe school systems
You're a
failed me.
legend.
I mean, I watched Miss Frizzle like every other day.
All my
feels
homies
like,
never heard of Reading Rainbow.
Dang.
Did anybody ever watch Read Between the Lions?
Between the Lions?
No.
Between the Lions.
What?
Dun, dun, dun.
You went to high
Take a
school in
look
California.
between the Lions.
We're the same age.
Yes.
Dude, I saw it. Yeah, dude.
You went to
those
school in
let's go.
California.
It's
That's
great.
the thing, though. He went to California, which is about, 10 years ahead of Arkansas. So by the time you're watching it, by the time I got to third grade, that's when we started watching it. So these folks are all in new school stuff.
All of the things that I've seen
New
of
school.
Between the Lions,
New school
Reading
stuff?
Rainbow is from Georgia.
New school
so maybe
stuff.
it's a Southeast
The
thing.
Magic
Maybe it's
School Bus is
regional.
new
It might be
school?
regional.
Very reasonable.
I didn't
Between
know
the
how
Lions
new
is
school
great,
stuff.
Between the Lions is great.
Between the Lions is really good.
Oh, I've
And,
seen
what's
this
the guy,
one.
the cliffhanger guy? The word cliffhanger
Oh,
guy?
yeah.
Yes.
That's funny.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I think it's the same show. I think it's like the intermission of the Read Between the Lions.
It like happens in the library,
actually,
right?
this explains a lot.
This does explain a lot.
Why?
Why? We have such great chemistry because we know like popular culture references for children.
No, it explains a lot about your early.
Okay, it's the show that has like
show.
also, you know what I found out yesterday? This is like so off topic, but
Hit me.
if someone has a mustache and it's kind of like,
like Drew Timmy.
Yeah. What would you call Drew Timmy's mustache?
I was looking for it. And I don't know if handlebar's more when it's like more up, right? I would say it's
not. Oh, okay.
I thought handlebar was like Mario and Luigi kind of stuff.
Okay. I just texted you a
I
link,
Google
Armstrong.
searched it and I
I'm
couldn't find
filibustering
it.
until you can play this link.
I was searching for.
Texted it to me.
I texted
That's
it
the
to you.
worst way to get it to me.
So I searched Pecos Bill mustache.
Okay.
Trying to find Drew Timmy's like lookalike to make something funny on Twitter. Couldn't find anything. So I genuinely have tried to answer this question myself with the internet and can't.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. It's moot point.
I was wrong.
Okay.
Handlebar is not what I thought it was.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay. So there's another video Armstrong's pulling up right now that I want to see if you guys have seen this.
I'm very far away from pulling it up.
Wait, what's it called though?
How far away?
What's it called?
It's called Eyewitness Intro Opening Theme.
Oh, dude, we're on the same thing. I know what you're talking about.
Do you know
I
what
know
I'm talking
100%. I already know what you're talking about.
No
with
way.
the white backdrop and the birds
Yes.
flying. Dude, yeah.
Yes.
It's so good. What's that?
It takes back. Yeah. Yeah, and it takes back so many memories.
Smells like Cheez-Its and pizza parties.
Oh, it smells like hot chocolate and watching Polar Express.
That's so fun.
I hate it.
Wait, what's the mustache called though? Because I actually really do want to
I'm
know
looking at an image, or I was looking at an
Fu
image.
Fu Manchu.
I was
okay.
I also see a horseshoe as an answer for this.
Okay.
If it's a little, I mean, his is kind of like very straight.
Close. Are we close?
I bet that would get you there.
We're reasonably close.
Okay. Because we're going to watch this and then we're going to go to break and Jerry Hill joins the show. And Jerry Hill's going to be so big. He's going to be so much a part of the documentary.
Yeah.
Why can you not tell me what that's from?
I feel like
that's what
Those
the craziest
videos
part.
are legit.
You can't tell me that all of your dreams don't somehow take place in that building.
Boom.
Don't you
Why
think?
does it exist though? Like, if you were asking me, if you're like, hey, you ever seen that? Like, you're like, describe it. Put a name to that. You can't.
Night at the Museum Animal
What do you
Edition.
mean, put a name to that?
Like, if someone says, like, what are you talking? Like, you're trying to describe that to someone else. Birds, white hallways, camera floating.
The mental institution under the White House.
Like,
in
I can
DC.
say like Reading Rainbow, and it just triggers. But there's not a single like term that just
straight jackets, flutes, education.
boom. That's it.
Flutes.
That's a good title.
I'm Drake Toll and J.D. Pickell.
Immaculate.
He said, I said, there's not a way to explain that. And J.D. said, insane asylum under the White House. And then he said, straight jackets, flutes, education. He's funny, man. Yeah, straight jackets, flutes, education. That's so good. Oh, I love that segment. That is a top 5 all-time segment. Reading Rainbow and Eyewitness. Okay, number 3. We did this today. This was completely off the cuff. I don't even know why this happened. It's because I forgot to do part of the content that we bring you every Friday, and this was completely on me. I dropped the ball, 100% dropped the ball, but the ball is back. I'm picking the ball up with this. You know who else is picking the ball up? Andrew Robertson and J.D. Pickell, as they went toe-to-toe and are number 3 on the top 5 things that happened this week with the Papa Shot competition. First annual. I
got a timer and everything.
How's it going to work?
I got a minute on the timer.
Okay,
You're looking live.
I don't want any underhand.
The first annual up-tempo Papa Shot contest.
So what we're doing right here is the Papa Shot contest between JD and Andrew and A-Rob.
Yeah. See, is there like a timer we're gonna set?
Yep.
Is there like?
Yeah, I don't want any. I
got a timer on the screen.
Is it just free for all in terms of getting the basketballs?
It is a free for all.
All right.
Oh
yeah. What else would it be?
But you should have to. I think
maybe you get 2. There's 2 basketballs per person.
Okay. You can't elbows. Elbow cannot cross the black.
I like that.
Okay.
So
we can't be like leaning.
No
elbows.
bows.
No bows.
No bows.
No bows.
No bows.
No bows.
All right.
Be a ho, no mo. Be a bow,
Don't
no
hit my
mo.
I don't hit the camera.
Okay, all right, so here's what we got. JD, go to take your places.
Go do this.
For those at home, we decided in the commercial break that I forgot to do a take 2 today because I've just been so excited about the national championship. What is a 2-minute drill? I got to do 2-minute drill. So now instead, we're going to do a Papa Shot contest between JD and Andrew. This is something that SicEm365 Radio and Uptempo have never seen before. So not really sure. We're getting some warm-up shots put in there. No bows. No bows. How much have you put on the timer, Armstrong?
I put a minute, but I can do whatever.
I like a minute. I think a minute's good. Do you have the music? Let's crank the music up. All right. Well, wait, before we got to do the walkouts. Hold on. Both you guys, great music, by the way. Both you guys got to stand off the side, out of the camera shot. That's the camera's right there. So there. And now, can we hit the lights? The first annual up-tempo Papa Shot contest. Standing at 5'10",
11.
5'11".
I believe it.
195 pounds. The muscles from Orange County. Sunshine. Standing at 5'10". 6'1" at 180 pounds, 160 pounds.
Lower.
From somewhere high school, and now at Baylor, A-Rob.
A-Rob.
That's the best I got. It's A-Rob. All right. The rules are you get 2 points for every shot that goes in a goal because it wouldn't be as fair if it was only 1. What happened to the music? Yeah, okay, there it is.
There it is.
All right. You get 1 minute, and I don't know who's counting. You might have to count your own because I think it's going to be too quick for us. Armstrong, you count A-Rob's, I'll count JD's. Okay?
You got a lot of counting to do over there.
All right. Ready? Take your mark. 3, 2, 1. Papa Shot. Oh my God, JD. No, elbows. Oh my, A-Rob's killing it. JD just made his first. JD's got 1. JD, use your art. Use the art. You're just chunking it.
A-Rob only has 2.
JD's got 2. Why is this so? Take your time.
God. Make a shot.
Why are you guys so bad at it? It's literally just Papa Shot. Did you just do a left hand? Did you just use
2? A-Rob, you made 2. 30 seconds
I guess
left.
your right hand was so bad.
You made 3? Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. No one would. It's literally Papa Shot. Elbows, JD. That's 3.
That's 3 all.
That's 4. 4 for JD. 5 for JD.
4 for A-Rob.
6 for
5
JD.
for A-Rob.
7 for JD. He got hot. 5. Oh my, it's still 7.
6.
It's 8.
7.
8. We're tied. We're tied.
One more.
We're tied. 9. We got a tie. It's tied at 9. It is tied at 9. It's over. Yeah, but the minute mark hit at 9. No, we're not going to end in a tie. A tie is like kissing your sister. Prince Philip did not die for this. We're not ending in a tie. We've got to, what do we do now? It was a tie.
We got to do a shoot-off.
A shoot-off?
Just like 1-1.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you match me?
Can you match me? All right. 1-1 shoot off, you guys.
time.
Take your places.
Where'd A-Rob go?
A-Rob's tying his shoe. That was
I think we knocked the whole thing down.
We were very close to going down.
That was.
How did you only make
Chaos.
The best part is that like 45 seconds in, they both had a combined 4 made shots,
Yeah.
and then just decided to.
They went off.
Drake had a couple points last night, and now we're.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't think anybody at home can hear you.
No, they can. They can.
Stop. All right. Yeah, it's not do or die. It's just shoot until like if
Shootout.
It's a shootout. It's a shootout.
So is there more time on the clock?
No. Cue the music. It's just a shootout.
It's just
you get to take your time for this. You get to take your time for this.
One shot, try to match it.
One shot, you got to match it. Yeah.
So if A-Rob misses here,
JD hits. A-Rob gets A-Rob. You still get a shot. You get a shot to match no matter what. All right. On you guys. Wow. Oh, this could take forever. This could actually take forever. JD? Oh, he nailed it.
All right, A-Rob's got to make it.
The ball's in A-Rob's court. He's got to nail this.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
And it's over.
The first ever up-tempo pop-a-shot contest it's going home with JD. With JD Pickell. Don't get that stuck on your finger. Don't get that stuck on your finger. This has been madness. April is... Wow. That was awesome. I love that. JD actually sent us a text earlier and says that he thinks he got the last shot off, the buzzer beater off in time, but he did not. It was A-Rob's buzzer beater that'll go down in history. That shot from A-Rob needs to be in an intro somewhere where he hits it and it's just the bang. Is this the last one? Oh, we're getting close. We're getting close.
Okay.
Okay. What are you okaying?
So right here, when the timer technically expires, right now.
No.
Whoa.
Oh.
Did you just make one?
No, wait. He didn't just make one with his .49.
It's .49. I think he misses the shot, though.
Okay.
It's tied 8-8 right now.
Keep it slow. Yeah, he misses the heck out of that. We're at 0. Oh, we're at 0.
Timer's out. And so it's actually technically 8-8.
Okay.
And then bang, bang.
Pop. Wait a second. So the timer's been out, so Andrew's buzzer beater
didn't even matter, but neither did JD, so it's actually technically 8-8. We called it 9-9 because we counted both of those shots.
Which should have been
It doesn't even matter.
18 because we said we were going by 2.
Oh, we did say that.
Yeah, I did, but we set a false precedent. I don't know.
But anyways, it doesn't matter. It was tied 8-8 or 9-9. Either way, it was tied.
Wow, do you have the buzzer beater that A-Rob hits right here?
JD thinks he got his 10th shot off.
Yeah, no way.
There's just no way.
So
hold on.
Right
that
there.
one, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? You got that off. There's 3 seconds to come off.
Can we play A-Rob's buzzer beater that ties it?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay. He got hot. Oh, my, it's still 7. It's 8.
7.
8. We're tied. We're tied.
Time's out now.
9. Oh, we got a tie. It's tied at 9. Wow. It's tied. I can tell you that in the moment it seemed so much slower. You know, like watching it back now, it happens so much faster. But in the moment, it felt like that shot just floated forever.
It did.
That's one of my favorite moments of anything that's ever happened on this show.
Shot.
JD wins the Papa Shot Championship. There are 2 buzzer beaters that don't count because they didn't beat the buzzer, but they were legendary. I'll give you guys credit for that.
They were legendary.
Yeah.
They neither of them technically counted.
I can go anywhere. That was the number 3 best thing that happened this week. The number 2 thing, well, that's when Baylor won a national championship.
Which one? What?
The one that I talked about.
Okay,
This is just my excitement after a national championship victory. This is my pure. Also, look at this shirt. Now that the camera's got like the tight shot, guys, look at that right there. Look at that right there. Where's the
bend down a little? Squat a little. There we go.
See that? That's
I
dope.
see that.
I don't even care. That's dope.
That is dope.
This right here is the number 2 thing that happened this week on Uptempo, and it is when I got really excited about Baylor winning a national championship. Check it out. Flipping Paul Mills and Grant McCaslin were both there last night. Paul Mills and Grant McCaslin sat by each other at the game. That was cool.
You saw them?
I did. I ran into both of those guys. Ran into Bryce Drew. Ran into him at the concession stand. And he was, oh, hey, what's going on? Oh, hey, you guys are great. You guys are great. No, you guys are great. That was cool. Bryce Drew saying that our show is great. Bryce Drew watches the show. He's going to be on tomorrow, too. Bryce Drew is going to join the show tomorrow, coming off the national championship victory. We're trying to get a player, working around getting a player right now for tomorrow's show as well. In the same booth, Trey Wingo, RG3, I got a video of RG3. I got to show you guys all these pictures and videos I took yesterday. It'd take a year and a half. But I got a video of RG3, Trey Wingo, Chip and Joanna Gaines. They were all in the same booth. I told somebody, if an earthquake hit and just that one section fell down, Waco's in trouble. Baylor Nation's in trouble. I'll tell you though, my seat, so I was in like section 626. I didn't get the David Smoak. David Smoak, pro's pro. That guy got there quick. He jumped on the opportunity to cover the game, and I'm telling you what, the media had great seats, so he got to sit pretty close to the court. I was in Lucas Oil Stadium, as high up as you can get. You could probably see a football game. You couldn't see a basketball game. It was just ants. It was not ideal. So what I did is I wandered my way down a little bit to the concourse. And I go and I find a couple of Baylor fans, and they tape off different seats. But they don't tape it. They zip tie it. So you can't tell they're zip tied until you go to sit down and it just stuck. So I found this group of Baylor fans. They had 2 seats open beside them. I was like, hey, guys, go get this too. The thing was, I was going to go to my seat, see what the view was like, and if it sucked, I was going to go back to the lower bowl, find an open seat, right? I go back to the lower bowl. I stop a guy. I was like, hey, how do I get back downstairs? And he was like, the escalators only go up. I was like, what? He was like, yeah, we don't make the escalators go down until halftime. So once you got to the upper bowl, smart on their part, you couldn't go back down. So I found my way to like the mid-concourse at least, found some Baylor fans like, hey, you guys, they had a little bit of Dr. Pepper and the adult kind. And I was
What's the adult kind of Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
Dr. Pepper 10, not for women.
It's not for women. It's for adults. No. They had...
you can say the word alcohol on the show.
I
don't know if that's what you're trying.
We're FCC regulated.
Beat around the bush.
Yeah, they had a little...
Not illegal.
They had a lot of bit to drink. And so I came down and I was like, hey, guys... can I share this moment with you? And they were like, well, yeah. Turns out, SicEm365 subscribers. SicEm365 subscribers. They're like, we read your columns. I did not expect that to be the first thing they said. Like, you're the guy that rides for that rides for Sickum. Yeah, I do write the articles. Thank you. So I sat beside those guys. We watched the game together. To my left, there was a guy from Nashville, and his son's a Baylor student. No connection to the school aside from his son being a Baylor student. That guy was screaming his head off. Watching the game, he was that guy that watches the game on his phone. That's just got the game right here, and he's like, he's watching. He's kind of watching here too. That guy. And I'll tell you what, man, I was amped. I lost my voice pretty quick into that. Like, it just felt 11-1 hits, and you're like, hey, Baylor's got a legit shot to win the national championship. But you felt it, you know? When it got back to 9, you were like, Baylor's going to Baylor. This is going to be a tight game. I thought I'd get like within 3 or 4, and then Baylor kind of wins it in the end. No, total domination. After that, though, cutting the nets, ran into Dave Aranda. Dave was there. Got to see him.
Little Dave.
Unbelievable. The just star-studded cast. I ran into T-Rex and I actually hung out at a downtown bar before the game. Got to go out and share some water together. I myself had water. T-Rex had like Dr. Pepper or something for adults. And there was also another part of it. The game ends. They immediately put the BU. See, they had that big bracket on the hotel. They put the BU up as champions. So we took the little bird scooters. Never been on one before. I drive a bird scooter. Morgan Huber's gonna be so mad because I'm pushing it back a little bit. I drive a bird scooter and I run into Trey Wingo. And so I stop and I pull over. I was like, hey, Trey. I shake his hand and whatever. It's like Drake Toll, SicEm365. I'm kind of talking to him a little bit. And then one of his buddies, who had some adult Dr. Pepper, was like, you want a picture with him? And I was like, oh, no. It's all good. He's like, no, you want a picture. And he like wedges us together. And he like starts taking pictures. And he's like, all right, everybody get in. He's just pulling guys random up. He's like, everybody gets a picture with Trey Wingo. So we all got a picture with Trey Wingo. And he goes, do you want to interview him? And I was like, Sure, I'll interview Trey Wingo. So I pulled him aside and I was like, all right, hey, Drake Toll here, SicEm365 up tempo. Trey, how you feeling? Trey, you just told me something. What did you tell me? And he goes, Baylor champions. Baylor Bears, national champions. And I said, Trey, what year? When? And he's like, 2021 Baylor Bears national champions. And I said, Trey, there are many in the national media that are out there, and they're saying that Baylor, it's a fluke because the COVID year. What do you say to that? And Trey looks at me, and he looks at the camera, and he goes, just drawn out raspberry. So I look at the camera, back at Trey, back at the camera, and say, you heard it here first, folks. Trey Wingo says, and that was it. Video cuts, right? And that was the whole interview. Guy hands my phone back, and he was like, does it look good? And I looked at my phone. Didn't actually look at my phone, right? Like, I just got like look down to common courtesy. He's like, oh, looks great. Go on my merry way. Turns out it wasn't a video. The guy took a time lapse. So it's about 3 seconds of just... and that's all it does. It's just Trey Wingo and I standing there and just kind of this abrupt movement. But it's a story that I'll tell the rest of my life that may or may not be true. It may or may not be true, but I'll know. I'll tell my grandkids that it's true. Plenty of stories to go around from Indianapolis. Only there 48 hours, but there's a lot. I could tell 48 hours worth of stories. I had the time of my life. Armstrong. And I never felt this way before. Come on, Armstrong. And I swear this is true. And I owe it all to you. Yeah. I had the time of my life in Indianapolis this week.
You just messed up the lyrics, though.
No. I know that song. Do you not know that song?
No, I do, and you messed it up.
Oh, I did? How did I mess it up?
Thank you, Jack.
How did I mess it up?
It's the truth, not this is true.
It's the truth. Oh, wow. I'll listen to it in the break. Before we go to a break, though.
Jack.
No. Assistant to the producer?
No, assistant producer.
The number one moment of the number one moment of the week this week, of all the things that happened. 'Cause I had the time of my life in Indy. That was some stories from Indianapolis. How cool was it that Baylor won the national championship in basketball this week? Doubly cool that we had Jonathan Chachua on the show to talk about winning the title just less than 48 hours afterwards. I mean, like right afterwards. Check this out, Jonathan Chachua. It's really neat. Number one thing that happened this week. Joining the show from the team, Jonathan Chachua. Jonathan, thank you so much, Everyday John, for coming on the show today.
How you doing, guys? I appreciate you for having me today.
Absolutely. We're glad to have you, Jonathan. I want to start with the obvious. Coming off of a national championship victory, what are some of the emotions that you're feeling right now?
I mean, I feel like it just still taking me time to just let it sink in that we actually champion and we actually made what we were dreaming about for the last 2 years, and it's just been great sharing that with these little guys.
Jonathan, coming from the Cameroon to play basketball in America, now being at Baylor and winning the ultimate award in college basketball, the national championship, does it all seem kind of surreal, just unreal even?
It's more like a real thing because I just woke up this morning. I was like, whoa, I'm really a champion. And I just thank God to just shit this bad for myself, just allow me to come to Baylor, just to be around this great group of guys, this coaching stuff, this loving culture, this culture of joy. I'm just grateful for what God have done for me and just for allowing me to do this.
That's unbelievable. Jonathan, I want to know, going into that championship game against Gonzaga, they were the number one team in the country, and everybody had picked Gonzaga to win. Were you nervous at all? How did you feel before that game?
I wasn't really nervous because we already played 5 NCAA tournament games before that one. And I kind of knew that one thing we're going to do is just play defense, which is what we always do because we all know that defense travels. We knew we were a better team defensively, and we got great playmakers and great scorers, so we ended up winning that one.
Jonathan, there was a point in the game on Monday night where there was a switch on a screen, and you were on Jalen Suggs guarding him out on the wing, and your defense just swallowed him up. I mean, he's a guard, one of the best guards in the country, and you were able to defend him on the outside. What makes you so good on defense everywhere on the floor?
If you're going to talk about guarding the guards, I got to give a shout out to our guards. because I really think we got the best backcourt in the nation. So we just spent the whole summer playing one-on-one against them every single day. And I just kept asking them to just go at me in every single situation, half court, full court, off the ball screen, or just off the live ball. We just kept on playing one-on-one like almost every day during the summer. That is how me and just our bigs just starting to be able to just guard every single position on the floor.
I want to know, Jonathan, most of these guys have been playing basketball since they were 4 or 5 years old, just grew up playing on teams at the youth leagues locally or different things like that. And your basketball story doesn't start necessarily the same. What was it that helped you fall in love with basketball?
Definitely just playing with my older brother, and I also got inspired by looking back at Mute for what he was able to do, like being able to just be one of the first NBA player to play for my country. And it just like gave me that feel that with hard work, you can just do whatever you want in your life. You just got to dream and keep on working.
I love that. With hard work, you can do anything, and you've proven that, Jonathan. Now, coming to Baylor from UNLV, I want to go back a little bit to 2019-2020, last season when you guys won 23 straight games and had that unbelievable run. You were redshirting. You had to sit out for that run. What was that like, not being able to get out there and play on the floor that season?
It was kind of frustrating because I wasn't able to play basketball. But on the other hand, I knew that I was helping the team to get some dubs because the scout team was really stacked. We had guys like Jordan Turner, Adam Flagler, and Obemi Kiki in the scout team. So I felt like we played a great part in the team's success from last year. And I also knew that sitting out was really was really not a bad thing because I was working on my game, working on my shape, working on my basketball IQ. So I just tried to take that year. I just tried to just get as much as possible I could get from that year. So I felt like it was a really good opportunity for me.
Jonathan, the first time you put a Baylor jersey on this season to play in a game for the university, what did that feel like, that sense of pride to go in as a Baylor Bear?
It was definitely exciting. It was like a dream coming true, just being able to play a game. After really a year since we had like the COVID extra time, it was definitely good just being around these guys, just be able to share this moment with them, just be able to smile, just run around with them. It was definitely great.
Wow. Jonathan, people talk about it too, and I want to know from this season and even last season how coaches can be just like parents. They can be like father figures for you, mother figures for you. Who is that coach or that group of coaches for you that you look up to as if they're your parents?
I'm going to say the whole coaching stuff because I'm not fortunate enough to have my family up in the U.S. with me. So I felt like the coaching staff just doing a great job, just giving us that family environment, showing us that we loved, that they love us, and they really like just take care of us every single day. So I feel like the whole coaching staff is there for me.
All right, Jonathan, I want to go back now to that national championship game because that's what everybody's talking about and what has been the rave the last 48 hours after you guys won it. I want to go back to the first time you checked in, when you went over to check into the ball game to come in for flow. What was going through your mind in that moment that you were checking into the national championship game?
So usually, before the game, I always trying to just motivate Flo because he's him starting and him going first is the biggest thing for me. I feel like that motivates me, and I really want him to do his best so that I can come and just finish whatever he started. So whenever I checked in, I looked at Flo, I'm like, hey, you did your thing, man. He was going crazy, got stops. I think we got 2 kills. We were, I think, 9-2 or 11-2 at that point. I was just trying to come in, just trying to keep the same energy, keep the same tempo that Flo started for me. And yeah, that was basically what was going through my mind at that point.
Jonathan, was there ever a point in time where you looked up into the crowd or just took in the moment knowing that you were playing on college basketball's biggest stage?
Not really, because one thing about this team is that we always play for God and we always play for an audience of one. So I don't think I have ever done that. And I don't have no family members in the crowd, so it's not really something that I do, that I'd be doing.
Well, Jonathan, I want to take you back to a moment in the game, too. That big alley-oop dunk that you threw down that ended a Gonzaga run and seemed like it made a statement for you guys. Hey, we're not going away. We're keeping the foot on the gas pedal. You had that alley-oop. What do you remember from that play?
Ooh, I just remember Adam Flagger throwing a really good pass. I was just so hyped. I felt like that just got everybody hyped at that point. I just got a momentum going back. I remember just like after the screen, I just seen two players was going with him. So I kind of rolled hard, and as soon as I jumped, like the ball was right into my arms. That might be the best pass I ever had. So shout out to Adam for that. And yeah, I felt like the momentum changed after the dunk. We were going back in the lead again, and I felt like just the game was a wrap at that point.
Wow. I want to know, speaking of the game being a wrap, at what moment, before I get there, I want to go to halftime. You know, Gonzaga had pulled the lead from 19 to 10, so they were coming back a little bit. Seemed like they had some momentum going into halftime. What was Coach Drew's message to the team at that break?
I don't think it changed anything. We just kept with the same old boring habit. We're just focusing on the scouts. It was just making sure that we know that Gonzaga, they can score. There's something about them. They're a great offensive team. And the 10-point lead is really nothing in college basketball, and especially in the national championship game, because ain't nobody trying to go home with the L, and that's the last game of the season. So we just made sure that our mind stayed straight, and we knew that we had to come in and just throw the first punch and win every single media.
EJ, at what point late in the game did you know that you guys were going to win?
I'm going to say right after that love that I caught from Adam, and also just the way we just keep on playing defense, the way everybody was staying aggressive, the way just the sub were just coming in with the same intensity. And yeah, I just knew that this game was going to end up being good for us. And even when I got subbed out at the end, I just knew that, yeah, I think we're national champion, baby.
Wow. Jonathan, one of the things that folks had talked about in the national media was that Gonzaga was bigger, faster, stronger, that Baylor couldn't keep up with them. And within the first 4 minutes, you guys were up 11-1, dominating them. Did it feel like at that point you realized, okay, we're the ones that are bigger, faster, and stronger?
Well, I might have to correct that. I've just felt like we were just the better defensive team, because the way I was thinking about the game, it was like, all right, both teams can score. That is a fact. But only one of us is actually good, like a great defensive team. And we, like the whole year, we just kept on relying on the defense everywhere. And I knew that was going to help us win this game. And I just realized they just never played a team who had just ball pressure like we did. So that's basically why we had that lead in the beginning, to just come and run the offense as they usually do.
Well, Jonathan, when the final buzzer sounded and you guys were national champions, obviously the hats come out, the nets come down, the confetti's raining on top of you. What was that moment like, and sharing that moment with your teammates?
Man, it was just like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, just being there, just knowing that you guys made history. Your guys are going to have, like, your name in the books forever with this group of guys. I think I actually, I almost cried at the moment, too. It was just so great knowing that what we've been working on and talking about for the last 2 years just came to reality. And it was also definitely good just be able to show to the world that a group of players just doing things the right way, putting God first, can actually be the best basketball team in college.
Jonathan, there's a video or a picture, I should say, of you guys holding up the trophy, and you're just looking up in the sky, just screaming. How loud was that locker room? How loud was that post game?
It was definitely loud. I really hope I could show you some video of the locker room, but yeah, it was definitely loud. It was definitely a nice environment, just be able to just admire just what we've been working for, sharing that just that moment with them. I feel like we might just never forget about this in our whole life, and that's what I'm just the most glad about.
Jonathan, I'm close, almost done here. Last couple of questions. I want to know. There's so many things that I want to know from you, but that moment, everything, all of this combined, going into next season. I know it's so far away and you guys are still soaking this in, but are you fully prepared to try to go back and do it all over again next year?
I mean, right now I'm just like worrying about just recovering and just enjoying this moment with my teammates and just enjoy the present. But I feel like something that's not going to change is just a mentality. Our will should just be the best team in the nation. So I think we're going to be up there.
Without a doubt. And obviously the recruiting class coming in is going to help you guys be right there, even though we're going to lose a couple. I'll tell you, Jonathan, when you look, knowing that Baylor will have its name right there beside 2021 national champions on Wikipedia, everywhere you Google it, you can't take it away. It's going to say Baylor Bears national champions for the rest of history. And you were on the team. You were a part of that. You helped win the national championship. What does all of that combined mean to you?
Man, it's definitely great. I actually got a text the other day for some family friend letting me know that I was the first in my country to the national championship. It just felt great just knowing that your name is going to be part of history and the names of the people that you love are going to be part of history with yourself. So it just like feel like really awesome and just really great. I just still need time to just soak it in. I still haven't soaked that in yet, but I just feel like it's definitely good just to be able to make history, especially during this COVID year, which I believe was like one of the most uncertain NCAA championship, because we have to deal with more things than just being on the floor. We have to deal with testing. We had to make sacrifice, which we all did. It was definitely just a great moment to be able to be part of.
Jonathan, I that was going to be my last question, but I got two more now because I have so many things I want to know from you. I want to know when you guys stepped off the plane, you got back to Waco, and the fans were everywhere yesterday. So many people that were there for you after winning a national championship. What was that like? What is it like to see these fans go crazy?
It was great. We just felt like we just owned this to the city, and we really felt love. Just shout out to Waco to just coming in, even coming to Indianapolis. I just felt like we had a great crowd up there, and shout out to them coming to the airport, showing us some love. Just know that we really appreciate you guys, and really love you too.
Jonathan, last question for you here. You could have gone to so many different universities in the United States, so many different colleges. You could have stayed at UNLV even. I mean, there are so many places you could be, but you're here, 2021 at Baylor University, and you're winning a national championship because of that. What does it mean to be a Baylor Bear for you? I'm just thanking God every single morning, and every time I go at night, just to be able to shape in this path that He made for me. I'm just glad to be able to be around a team where I can be a Christian publicly without being ashamed of that. And that's the environment that Baylor University just gave you. I'm just really just glad just God just made it happen for me and just put me in the path of this coaching staff and these players. Wow. Jonathan Chachwa, thank you so much for joining Up Tempo today and giving us perspective about the national championship victory. You, my friend, are a stud, that's for sure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Again, that was Jonathan Chachwa, EJ, Everyday John on Up Tempo, talking about the basketball national championship that he was a part of on Monday as a Baylor Bear. Wow, I loved, he said, not only winning that championship, but winning it with people that you love. Winning the championship, sharing that moment with the people you love is what made it so big for him. The first national champion, he said, from Cameroon. That too. Unbelievable. That from Jonathan Chachwa, the number one thing that happened this week on Up Tempo. Good stuff right there from a national champion. Those guys, wow, kings of college basketball. Unbelievable. It still has not sunk in yet. I don't think I've had time for it to sink in. I think this weekend is when it's going to sink in. I did buy this little, I bought this little bugger though. It says National Champions right there. You see that? It says National Champions. I bought that for $7 at the bookstore, free pub. And then this shirt that I told you guys that I love. All right, we've got some celebrity birthdays going on today. Armstrong, how was your week this week?
My week this week?
Yeah.
Good week. Good.
Kind
of crazy. Went by fast.
I'm gonna put it out there. I'm going on a fraternity take a date this weekend.
Wow.
I know.
Breaking news.
Yeah,
Jack's really excited.
We're moving up in the world, so we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that goes. You know, we're gonna play things minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day.
Did she watch the show?
No. She actually goes to TCU.
Oh my God! All right. And what's the?
Boo.
You gonna mute the mic? Just you three are gonna take this out.
You can mute mic 1. All right, Drake it back up.
Yeah. We're gonna see how it goes. I'll keep you guys updated. I'll come back Monday with an update for the folks at home. I know everybody's interested. Yeah, it's a take a date though. You know, take a dates it is what you make it. It's up to interpretation what a take a date is. You know, it's like there's some take a dates where it's like, hey, double function assumption, like it's a take a date. But then there are some take a dates are like, it's my friend. We're gonna go to take a date together. Crawfish boil this weekend too. It's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah,
Baseball plays. Crawfish are back.
They're back.
Crawfish are back. Baseball team plays tonight against West Virginia at home at 7:30, and the basketball team is throwing out the first pitch. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're just going to have.
Same time?
Yeah, Jared's not in town this weekend though. So if you're going expecting to see Jared Butler, don't go. Do go.
Why is
but
he not in town?
So actually, my roommate's girlfriend.
Whoa.
Okay, ready for
Big
this?
time.
We're good.
My roommate's girlfriend. Her big, sorority big, is Jared Butler's girlfriend.
Wow.
Okay.
This information is getting less and less reliable.
My roommate.
This chain goes.
I am friends with my roommate who's dating a girl, and that girl's big is dating Jared Butler. So basically, Jared Butler and I are tight.
Yeah, basically.
Jared Butler's dating someone?
Yeah, a girl.
Well, a girl. Wow.
Yep. Breaking news on Uptempo.
Sick brag, Jared.
So he's gonna go meet I think he's meeting the family in Louisiana this weekend. He's meeting I think he's somewhere out of town is all that I know. So if you're going there to see Jared Butler, I don't know if that's public knowledge.
Are they all going to throw the pitch at the same time? Like, you know.
That's what I'm wondering.
Like,
put a finger on the ball. Woo.
It'd be really fast, you know, all that muscle behind it.
You are everything that I hate about this show. Yeah. No response.
Hey, I have nothing.
All right. After yesterday's shenanigan, the way we ended yesterday's show, I don't know if we can top that. We're going to have a new intro on Monday, too. It's going to be the same intro, but it's going to have some added stuff in there. Nice. Lil Nas X has a birthday today. Celebrity birthdays.
Gosh.
Is he?
Not really. Kind of.
How old is he?
26.
Nope.
All right.
23. Nope.
24.
22.
Young, wow.
Tommy in it.
I know Tommy in it. How do you not know he's a YouTuber guy?
He's a generational guy.
Tommy in
We're
it?
the same age.
Yeah, Tommy in it. Generational
You watch
gap.
YouTube?
Yeah. I don't watch YouTube.
Big YouTube guy?
I watch Uptempo on Roku.
I watch Uptempo on YouTube, so I'm already there.
Wow. Okay, how old is Tommy in it?
20.
No, he's probably like 17, 16. Yeah.
He's 17. Wow.
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart's birthday is today.
40.
No.
Kristen Stewart?
I don't know. I
I
know the name. I don't know the...
I thought she would be like 48.
Okay. Jack, Kristen Stewart, Twilight?
Twilight?
Yeah, the Twilight girl, Kristen Stewart. My goodness, where have you guys been? 31. God bless.
Whoa, way off.
Elle Fanning, daughter of the Fanning couple.
I'm going to say 27.
Okay. That was not a real buzz.
20.
Okay.
Oh,
Elle Fanning,
she's got to
Jack?
be older. I mean, younger than 27.
I don't know who that is. So. Yeah.
God, you guys got
Elle Fanning is...
I got Tommy.
She's 23. You guys are taking
makes sense.
so long. Jesse McCartney.
Pretty much my age.
Not related to Paul.
Oh.
You guys take them. Wait, this is a rapid. This is a rapid fire game.
50.
50.
30.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know who this person is.
I don't either.
I barely know.
34. Hugh Hefner would have been how old today?
90.
Better.
91.
Do not say 92.
95. He'd have been 95 today. So we were close on that one. Eduardo Sacon-Jolie.
Oh, well, of course.
Is this the guy from what is it called? Facebook?
No. Eduardo Sacon-Jolie. Rapid fire again.
75.
75.
50.
50.
65.
Happy 7th birthday to Eduardo Sacongeli. He is 7 today.
Who is this?
How is he feeling?
Hey, Dennis Quaid's birthday is today. The rookie.
Okay.
Sports.
66.
71.
Oh.
69.
Hey, 67. 67 for old Dennis Quaid today.
There.
This day in sports history. Armstrong?
127th Grand National.
Oh, man, I'm looking for one. There's got to be a Grand National
It has to be
somewhere
Grand
in
National.
here.
Did anyone enter any?
It's always Grand National season.
I'm getting worried. We're moving up the list. Armstrong, we may have ended Grand National season. We got a bunch of Masters in here.
That makes sense, yeah.
Master? Sorry. The 137th Grand National.
Hey, I was 10 off.
Ben Dehan wins aboard 13-1 bet Corbiere. Jenny Pittman, first female Grand National winning trainer.
Hey.
What year?
Way to go, Jenny.
Okay. Huh?
Breaking barriers for Jenny.
06. What year?
I'm going to say 1967.
1942.
83. 142nd Grand National. Irish jockey Brendan Powell wins aboard 10-1 shot Rhyme and Reason by 4 lengths from Durham Edition.
87.
88. Oh, 88. All right, you know what that means? It's the end of the show today. Drake Toll, Armstrong Sims, Andrew Robertson, Jack McKenzie. Devontae Bandu joins the show on Monday alongside Matthew Postins, and also somebody else does too. Gosh dang it. Evan Miyakawa joins the show as well. I'm Drake Toll. What a week it's been. Baylor Bears are national champions of the world. Everything you believed is dreamed, and you've got it if you want it. That's right. R.I.P. Prince Philip. This has been Up Tempo.
Oh, my God.